I don't want to oversimplify what is so very not simple with the government shutdown, but effectively you have an OMB director out of the White House who is effectively running the federal government and making massive decisions here. They could potentially cripple some of these agencies, which we should be clear, as he wrote in Project 2025, he has argued that some of these agencies are too big and have hurt Americans. And so from his vantage point, he has been empowered by the president to move forward with these firings.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts. There we are. Leah and Michelle. It's Friday. We're outside on the deck. Look at these cool sweatshirts we have. You know who gave these to us?
Leah.
Little Leah and Kim. God First, powered by Faith. They were actually inverted first, but your middle name is Faith, so we switched them. I like God First. God First. I feel like that's a song. Ooh. Speaking of songs. Coalition Reloaded has officially launched their very first album. You can listen to it on Spotify. It's how I survived the end of the world. I haven't even made it through the whole thing. I think I listened to the first 5 songs. It's got my favorite song on there. Sound Mind. Power, love, and a mind that sound. Fear don't live in no more. Now count 1, 2. Strum my guitar. 3 chords is all I need, Lord. Sing a new song. Okay, so they sing it way better than I do, but can you guys hear us? It makes me so happy. It's a happy song. It is, and you know what? It constantly reminds me, Michelle, we need a sound mind, which I know Leah appreciates, that Michelle needs a sound mind. Oh, get her. So goodbye, get her. Wait, what? Oh, shoot.
Oh, we lost everybody?
Wow. Well, let's see if I got Facebook back fast enough. So pray over the system, because every single time we go to do an outside live show, Rumble says we're not doing it. And I think I might have lost Facebook too. Darn. Lord, you know. Okay, I did lose Facebook. So we're going to have to do Facebook again. And Leah is not here to carry the talking for me. So I'm going to try to do 2 things at one time. Are you guys ready? Number 1, Pete Hegseth has laid it down for the fat generals. You will no longer be allowed to get by with having your donut belly. I don't think he said those words exactly, but he might as well have said that. You're going to have to get into shape. You're going to have to be able to do all the things you need to be able. Here's my thinking. If you can't do the same things that, let's say, RFK Jr. can do, how old is he? Like 75 or something? If you can't do the stuff that RFK Jr. can do, which he can do like pull-ups and stuff, then you essentially can't be your general anymore. You're going to get your little general card taken away. So I found that hilarious. And yes, Kim, you sent me the link to the baby version of that. We are 1000% going to play that tonight as soon as I get this Facebook up and rolling. Okay, Facebook, calm down, dude. It is hilarious. I know it's AI and we don't do AI, but I'm telling you, the baby stuff that they do when they make them little toddlers, it's hilarious. All right, so Getter, if you're watching, your stream keeps dropping. So
Get up there, buddy.
we're gonna drop Getter. I'm so sorry, no Getter today. But you can watch it back on the playback on other platforms, or you can come and join us with the rest of the class over on Rumble, which is the best place to come in. So I'm dropping Getter. Bye, Getter.
This is my weapon. I have my weapon of war. You see, so these dogs have been with us for like ever. They come to us every Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, that whole Feast of Tabernacles. We have friends who are Hebrew roots, and they go and do a thing every year. And so for 2 weeks, sometimes up to a month, their various dogs have stayed with us.
Yep.
Three of their dogs have passed away.
So you say these dogs. What you mean is this family.
This family.
Because the dogs, I mean, these dogs that we have here,
Toby's new from last year.
they come from a whole
Toby
lineage.
showed up on their property in Kentucky. They've got like 126 acres, and he just showed up. And last year, right before they dropped off their other two dogs, they said, "Can you take this stray too?" And we were really worried that it was going to be bad and hard.
He's so sweet.
Because he was a puppy, and
Yeah.
you just never know what puppies get into.
Right.
But he did really well.
Yep.
So we said he could come back.
He got
we
permission.
We convinced the owners to make him an inside dog. So now he sleeps
We
on the
did. He
bed.
was just going to be an outside dog. I was like, no. I'm going to tell you something. I own a pet care business. I don't pet sit for no outside dogs.
Well, we would for our neighbors. They got that.
That's different.
Livestock
That's a
guardian dog.
livestock guardian dog, outside dog. That's no regular like cuddle sleep in my bed. That dog that our neighbors just got, this livestock guardian dog, came with like a donkey. No, they didn't get a donkey. A couple of sheep,
like
and
4 or
some
5
goats
sheep
and
and
whatnot.
some goats.
This dog, it was raised with these animals. Leah's got a gun for this dog. She's gonna
So
shoot
yeah,
it.
well, I was getting to a point, but you get to the point.
Don't point that at me. Don't you dare point that. Don't point that at the audience either. This electronics.
Toby, so dropped off at 7 a.m. and my friend Tim, who's the dog's owner, I said, "Is there anything new that I need to know about the dogs?" And he says, "Well, Toby is taken to barking all the time, a lot."
We're gonna help him.
And so this morning he showed up,
Help cure him from this.
and he couldn't stop barking. It was like within him to bark and bark. And our neighbors' dogs bark all the time. So every time
Since they're
they bark,
triggered. This is such a great segue to my show from yesterday that I did. My
I think
live.
so. So I found that if I had to, this is an industrial sprayer, so it will go far.
30 feet.
Boom, baby.
Leah.
So when the dog is like 30 feet away, if I had to,
Nope,
and
there's Leah.
so it was better. It was this or a shock collar. And number one, I don't have a shock collar. Number two, it's working. So he's not barking.
So my segue to my show yesterday, which I titled "Frustration is Contagious," and we do not have the right to infect others. Okay, so you know how, and I'm just going to sum it up for you, even though you should go and watch it. That is very frustrating what she's doing there. Podcast listeners, she's tapping me with her finger like a 5-year-old. When you have had a really bad day, and you just all of a sudden are like, this happened and this happened. You're sharing it with somebody, but you're not just sharing the story. You're literally sharing the frustration. You don't have the right to do that. And we do that all the time because we think, well, I'm not angry at this person. I'm not frustrated at this person. So of course they can receive the full blunt of my wrath towards this thing. You know what I mean? We gotta pull that into check. What are you laughing? You know why she's laughing? Because the conviction of the Holy Spirit said to me, Michelle, you have done this your entire life.
I wasn't thinking about you, but that's nice. I'm so glad you have this epiphany. But I actually was thinking about myself today.
Oh, shoot.
We dropped somebody else again.
Rumble. It's just Rumble.
Rumby.
So I know.
Can I go get the whatchamacallit? Would that help?
There is absolutely nothing you can do. What would help?
Extender?
I am hard lined into the internet. And it's always Rumble. So Jim's like, hey, just go stream from your studio. Here's the thing, Jim. and I love you so much. And we love you, but we also love being outside. And our studio is in the basement. And so on a day that we do a 3-hour show, I've got an hour and a half in the basement getting it ready, an hour afterwards posting it. That puts me in the basement for 5.5 hours on a day that we do a show. I don't think people realize how much time goes into the shows. And so it's like, it's beautiful outside here in Ohio tonight.
Right now,
it's gorgeous. Yeah. And so
it's so
like
beautiful. You would rather us, let me tell you something. The shows we do outside,
they're
are
better.
way more fun.
They're because we can be more loose.
I have so much more peace out here.
Yeah.
I feel like the basement, because it's like cement walls, traps in the
negativity,
the energy, like the
the
electromagnetic, it's like bouncing
ions
off the concrete walls back to my body.
Yeah. So by the time that the show is over, you're just like exhausted. You would rather us, if you loved us, Jim, and you do, you would pray that our tech would work outside, because it's so much. I should turn the camera around so y'all can see. Like, it's a lot to get it set up out here. Like, so meaning it's that worth it to us. It adds an extra 45 minutes to the whole setup just to get it set up out here.
It's just like hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, I just love being out here. So Jesus.
Team outdoors, says Lorraine.
Jesus, please let
Rumble go for the whole night.
So what I was laughing about was on your frustration. So we have a new to us car. 2011 Toyota Highlander.
Awesome car.
Still learning it, right?
Yeah, it's got buttons.
So the Jeep, we are working on we're going to be selling the Jeep. We don't want to sell the Jeep.
Peaches.
But Patriot Gallery,
say her name.
Peaches.
So
Patriot Gallery, since her miraculous transformation last year.
Yeah.
Has gotten so much better.
Amazing.
For like 15, almost 20 years, she just kind of had us. She didn't really go very many places. And when she did, we drove.
Yeah.
So, but in the past like 5 months, she's been driving. And we've got a Jeep.
She stole my car.
And we've got the Odyssey. And so Mom will be gone in our 2008 Odyssey.
That's our newest car.
It is. Until 2011.
Whoa.
But she'll be gone like 4 or 5 hours a day. And Michelle and I are like, I feel we're trapped.
Yeah, because the Jeep, the Peaches doesn't go on the highway.
She does. We've taken her a lot of places, but it's not comfortable.
We borrowed a friend's car when Uncle Jack was in the hospital because
to go back and forth.
Like to go on the highway with her. You're going 55. That's max what you're doing. So you're in the slow lane.
Actually, that's not true because I took her to
Michelle
Frisbee golfing this year.
Michelle is driving at 55 because Michelle does not want to have. You ever seen those movies where the tire falls off and goes rolling down the? You know, the car always stays erect in the movies, but if that happens, you crash and die in real life.
So the Jeep actually runs really great. I've been telling Matt, I was like, Matt, I feel like there's a little bit of, play in the steering wheel, and he drives it. He's like, better on the highway than it is in the curvy roads.
I don't trust
and
it.
he's my mechanic. So, we are selling it. You have to be able to sell people on the Jeep.
Right.
You trust the Jeep. Haha.
So, what's really funny is that I don't know what it is about the Jeep lately. And I don't think that Matt did anything new, is that I actually do feel like the steering, it was a little loose. It's just a steering thing, has gotten a little bit tighter than it was before. So I don't know what that's about. But I love this vehicle. It runs for its age, 26 years
99.
old.
So
it
Matt
runs
and
better than probably any 26-year-old Jeep on the road.
Have done so much to it. They spent one whole summer rebuilding the entire 2/3 of the frame.
Yeah.
And it's been running really great, but it has this cough issue. So like a kind of an idle issue. And it's been having it for about a year on and off, and Matt will change out something and fix it. And this time we threw a crankshaft position. I know a lot about cars now. We threw a crankshaft position code, and then and then we changed out
They don't care about the cam.
So Matt changed out all the things it could be. Okay.
Right.
And it's still like coughing. It's still like a little bit weird. So I was like, let's drive out to this guy out about 20 minutes from us. He just does old Jeeps.
Hawks.
Yeah. So we went there, and it's amazing. They just have all these old Jeeps. They work on them. And if you need work on your Jeep, especially like framework, which is really hard to do, it would behoove you to come just to have him
All
work
the way
on
to
it.
Ohio. I bet every state has a good Jeep guy.
I don't know, maybe not, because that kind of works hard to do
Yeah.
and hard to know what you're doing and doing it well.
So you went out there today.
Yeah, and then we went to another place to get a little more information, and we got a lot of information. So we think it's a fuel pump, which is not fun for Matt, but at least he knows what to do.
Yeah.
So I get back in the car, and
You're back in the Highlander.
and I got the 2 dogs in the Highlander,
Right.
and I'm like, we were so relieved that we had these conversations, and especially the one conversation. Matt's like, I know what to do. He knew exactly what I was talking about. Fuel pressure's low. We're just going to do it. It's going to be great. And he's like, man, I just needed somebody to talk to. No offense to Connie if he watches this back. I kept saying, Matt got a new phone. And so
we are all over the place
Wait,
on
wait, wait,
conversation here.
No, I have to
you
tell
have
you,
mentioned
hang
several
on.
different
So
stories
Condi,
here.
your reason why you haven't been called is because you're not in Matt's new phone. And I have to keep meaning to, because Condi's like, hey, if you have any car troubles, Condi's been great. So we love Condi and Shauna. And I kept saying, you need to text Condi. So anyways, we get in the car and a light is blinking. That's what I'm getting to. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, so we've been doing all these things. It's very, nerve wracking to go to new places. And I've got all these things I'm juggling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now I got a light on in the new car.
Even though we've been over this, that if any light comes on in the new car, whoa.
I don't know.
While like we're getting used to it.
So,
you need
and
to
it's also
automatically
dinging.
assume-
So it's also dinging.
I'm holding this back because
Okay.
you're pushing it
I'm
forward.
I'm actually holding it with my feet. I'm not
Okay.
touching it.
You're
See?
not. You're pushing it forward.
No. See, look, I am not touching it. So I'm holding it.
Okay, I'm gonna. Hold
I don't
it.
know what's going on. So we've got this light blinking.
Yeah.
Drive all the way up the hill. I turn the car off. Turn it on, and I was like, "Dude, Matt, it's another thing."
You're retelling that story with you in a really great light.
No,
you told it to me a little differently.
I'm going to tell the way I need to tell it.
Okay.
Dude, Matt, I cannot believe it's another thing. Okay. Another light, another thing.
She sounds
I can't
so
handle
subdued.
it. And so I pull over. He's like, it's just the seatbelts. It's just the seatbelts. It's like, it's not the seatbelts. He's like, the dogs are sitting in the back. It's the seatbelts. I'm like,
that's a good guess though.
So I'm like, God, I don't want to research another light thing, whatever. And I pull over, got to open up the thing, and it's how many cars do you guys have this? Something descent assistant control. It's a DAC.
Okay.
Well, I look down and there's these 2 buttons. One is snow for 4-wheel.
Yep.
One is DAC. And it just so happens that the hieroglyphic, if you guys have been watching our show, we were talking about hieroglyphics in these cars. The hieroglyphic, I can't say it, glyphic.
You cannot be meaning Leah.
Hieroglyphic. The one
that is what that is what Indians like put on caves.
That's what I'm talking about.
There's no hieroglyphics in the
there are.
car.
So they use on all the symbols. It's like hieroglyphics. So like it has a car with a squiggly. And
you
so,
want to call those hieroglyphics? I think they're
messaging
they're
with
just little images.
Right. That's what a hieroglyphic is, an image and tells a story. So you need to know that this is attraction. This is the thing. So I look down, and on the DAC button is the same symbol that's flashing, which is a car on a hill, right? And so here it dawns on me. The dog, in between going into the car place and back to the car place, got up front, hit the button.
Yeah.
So it's not lit up or anything down there. Okay. It's not lit up to tell me that it's on. If I were Toyota, I'd be lighting those puppies up so that you know that they're on, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's lit up on the dash, letting you know it's on, not on the thing. So I hit the button, the light comes off. I call Matt. I said, Matt, you know what? Do you guys remember there used to be like this OnStar, Blonde Star joke?
They don't.
And Matt sent that to me one time, like years ago, and I
instead
said,
of OnStar, it's Blonde Star when it's when you're being a little bit dense.
Yeah, like my keys are locked in the car with me in the car.
Here's
type deal.
what.
So the button is off, the thing is off, and I was like, God, are you playing jokes on me? I feel like it was a joke played on me.
It's like
funny, but it was just a thing. It was like a thing because we're getting to the, if you guys have been watching Healing for the Fractured Soul, we've been working through these anger being a trigger to something in your past. So if you're somebody like us who traditionally has not always had a new car, or somebody to take it to, it's usually something bad if a light comes on. It's not usually something good or okay. It's not. I don't have cars that light up with something good. Or something useful. If I have a light come on in the dash, it's telling me you need to change the oil, you need to check the engine, and even on the Honda Odyssey, I don't. This new one has a light up for four wheel, which is snow, and a light up for the something you would push on purpose. I don't have cars like that, so now I'm learning. I feel like I am a third world person. And I have entered into like more modern people.
Okay.
I am the pygmy. And I have entered into a little bit another world of like,
Sure.
oh, you richer people than me. Oh, you have buttons and they light up and they actually do something good. I knew that. I knew it. I knew that. Your instrument panel is not always evil and mean.
One of my favorite movies, which I'm not sure that I would like it now because there's probably perverted stuff in it that I didn't pick up on when I was a kid, is Crocodile Dundee.
Yes.
So when he comes to America, like everything is not okay.
No.
So that's you minus the Australian accent.
I know, but it's only 3 years newer than the Honda. So it's like, it took that, like, I just feel, where have I been? I've rented cars, but I would never hit those buttons. Right? Like, I don't open up a car manual when I rent a car.
One of my favorite movies, again, to go back to movies, because this is a very spiritual show that we do here, is Jurassic Park. And there's a time where the cars have shut down and they're stuck in the rain. This is the very beginning of the movie.
Yes.
And the one poo-poo face is what we call him. Like, I can't stand this guy. He's the blood-sucking lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So the blood-sucking lawyer, the kids go to get those night vision goggles.
Yes.
And he's like, the kid's like looking out the back window. And the guy's like, where'd you find those? And he's like, they were under this seat. And he's like, do they look expensive? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, then put them back. Like, don't touch them. And so that's how, like, we're going to rent a car.
Right.
We're going to do the 3 things that it does. We're going to go forwards, we're going to go backwards, and we're going to turn. That is it.
We're going to
stop. So 4 things. Those are the only things you are allowed to do.
Yeah. Because you're going to return that puppy the way it came.
100%. Right. It's not, we're not doing anything. What is going on with this?
I don't know.
We're so topsy-turvy. I bet if we just pull it towards us a second, get it off these bumps. See, look, I just fixed it. Okay, Leah. So I know you guys came for
Yo quiero taco shutdown.
You guys came here for Leah and Michelle news.
Yo quiero taco shutdown.
If you want government news, you can go watch
I want
show.
the taco shutdown.
Do a taco shutdown.
I want the taco shutdown. Schumer shutdown. Yo quiero.
So we played the little clip in the intro. We'll play that again. What does it have to do with Mexicans or anything Hispanic that would make it like a taco shutdown? I'm confused by that.
Well, supposedly, and I don't think this is true.
I mean, I love sombreros.
They're running around saying that they don't want illegals to be able to be treated with Medicaid in the hospitals.
Okay.
And they want Americans to be treated first. So some people are saying that the Medicaid funding might not be there for illegals going into the hospitals, but I think it is there because I think you can still go to the hospital no matter what. However, Trump is threatening to fire
a bunch of federal employees.
Just a bunch of, federal employees. And so I'm not truthing on Truth Social very much. Do you do that?
So just every show. That's the only thing I do over there, really.
So you don't scroll through Truth Social or anything?
No.
It's like, it's kind of like another world. It's like a Mario Brothers world, a meme world. It's just meme world. Meme.
Well, you gotta be so meme.
Meme.
Yeah.
And Trump spends a god awful, I don't know if that's a sacrilegious thing to say or not, amount of time on Truth Social.
Okay.
And he doesn't really, he has sworn off X, Twitter, whatever, which I should too. You know, I found out today.
What?
So I paid my premium, $8 a month.
Yeah.
So that I could have my name out there a little bit more.
Sure.
Well, I had to change credit card. So I had to manually run this through like a month ago.
Yeah.
If your account is suspended, you do not get a refund. And I had to pay for the year. They just stole like money from.
So this is just you have to understand this policy. that no matter what, if you get suspended, you have paid for the year. No,
Even if you just paid. And I feel like they did on purpose. I feel like they like waited for me to pay and then suspended me, and then like it. I feel like it's a double harm. And you know what I think it has to do with? You know, really what? I'm not sure it's Israel. I think it's the fact that we do blast Elon a little bit on this show. Elon, you have to kiss the ring with that dude. That's why Alex Jones does it. Now there's some people that get away with it, but not many.
I don't want to change the subject.
Yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that.
You were just went venting.
Well,
About
Trump
the
doesn't
Twitter.
spend much time on Twitter either.
Right. Are you going to move to Truth Social?
I'm not a fan of meme world, but tonight we're going to play some memes.
Getter posts a lot of articles. People will share a lot of articles over on Getter.
I used to go to Getter a lot.
No, so here's the benefit of being, well, this would be regardless, I suppose, whether we were in the studio or in the on the deck here.
Now I'm just getting mad again.
I just suggested meatloaf for dinner. I'm smelling it.
It's in the oven.
Are we going to burn it?
I have a timer on it.
Okay.
It's not like coming through the computer. It's not like, you know how
it smells nice. Like it's nice.
walk
Our neighbors are probably jealous.
a vacuum in the store, and then all of a sudden you get vacuum mats. We have not got to the place where you're like, hey, can I have meatloaf? And then it's in your oven. and then here comes the bill. Right.
Thank you, Lorraine. Lorraine says, I requested your account suspension to be lifted. So ridiculous. If you guys are over on X, we are asking you to go and share Tom Renz's post. You can find that on I had to do another Twitter because my original Twitter was suspended. Resistance Chicks without the K. So go and follow Resistance Chicks without the K, especially because Leah may end up over there. We're not saying that out loud though, because we're gonna get Leah's account back in the name of Jesus. I can't
handle the truth.
Resistance Chicks without the K, and retweet and @support and request that @Leah Svensson and her account be reinstated over on X.
Let me know when you have my links up, and we will play for the people the Trump memes on the shutdown.
Okay, so while I'm pulling up your tabs, you're still pulling up tabs?
No, I was looking to see if the one I sent you was up. I'm not seeing that one.
I want to tell them about this cancel Netflix because we're going to talk about that.
You want to talk about that first?
No, I'm going over the highlights of our show.
Yeah, so Netflix I think has lost about 15 billion so far. Somebody started sharing the fact that like a good majority of their shows have some sort of trans DEI thing in it,
agenda,
and especially
brainwashing
for kids. There's a lot of, like you mentioned, Jurassic Park. Well, there's a Jurassic Park cartoon with a lesbian kiss in it. Cartoon,
what?
Yeah, and so that's over there. So Elon Musk tweeted out, and a lot of people have been canceling their Netflix.
So on the one hand, that's so great because I think that Netflix is the cesspool of, video streaming.
Yeah,
however,
they did that cutie show with the total porn.
So
child porn.
But like the amount of people that are so influenced by Elon Musk, I find a little bit disturbing.
Well,
go ahead.
Did you do some exercises today just so we could cover the story without feeling bad about ourselves?
Pete Hegseth?
Yeah.
Do you want to just do the baby one?
I didn't bring that one up.
We're doing that. That's the one we're doing. As a matter of fact, Kimberly Vinzel sent it to me, and I've seen it. I've watched it no less than 3 times.
So Pete Hegseth, but you don't know the backstory. The backstory is absolutely hilarious to me. That Pete Hegseth actually, in a historic move, called up. I don't know how he called him. I don't know how he got a hold of him. Got all the top brass to come together in one spot. Now, if you were like Russia, you would probably like take them all out, right?
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. On Tuesday, we observed one of the strangest spectacles of all time. President Trump and his Secretary of War, that changed. That's weird. Makes me feel weird. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, called a mandatory meeting of all the top brass in the U.S. military. 800 plus generals, officers, admirals gathered at the Marine Corps base in Quantico in Virginia. And they had to hear and be lectured by Trump and Hegseth. So it's pretty funny to me.
This speech that we are going to play the baby version because, and I know we don't like AI, but it's way funnier as they just put all of these people in like baby toddler faces.
I wonder how
okay?
you choose who you're going to sit next to. Okay, so because such an event is nearly unprecedented, at least in peacetime, the days leading up to the meeting were increasingly filled with speculation and even dread.
Stop it.
Tensions between the U.S. and Russia are soaring over reports that the Trump admin may provide and assist in launching of Tomahawk missiles capable of both hitting Moscow and carrying nuclear weapons. So they're like, "Are we going to do some nuclear war? Is that why you're bringing us here? No, we're just here to tell you you're fat." Like, like on the one hand, you're like, "Yay, no nuclear war." On the other hand, you're like, "Hey, bro." What? Okay, so the Putin administration pointed out the obvious. Such weapons would require the active participation of U.S. intelligence, as well as trained U.S. or NATO personnel, and should they be used, would bring Russia and the U.S. NATO to a state of war. It is a war that, given both the U.S. and Russian nuclear doctrine, could very quickly rise to the level of an exchange of nuclear weapons and total destruction. What I love is that we have a nuclear doctrine, like it's a Bible, like for a fact that this is how your enemy is going to act. Like that's not war never acts like that way. Anyways, likewise, the media reports and observers of the movement of military equipment have been raising a red flag over the past several days on the massive movement of U.S. fighter jets and aerial refueling tanks from the U.S. toward the Middle East. Observers point out the similarity to the days leading up to the U.S. attack on Iran in late June, just over 3 months ago, to which, guess who helped avert that war with Iran?
Donald Trump.
No, he was going full-fledged.
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was Charlie. He showed up at the White House, and he actually got reamed by Trump. But it was Charlie Kirk, Jack Posobiec, Tucker Carlson, and just like 2 other people.
So I have a clip. I don't actually have it up, and I
believe that that's why we didn't go to World War III.
I don't know where it is. So this is just Michelle reporting on this. Who is one of the right hand guy that's always on his show? Anyway, from TPUSA, he did an interview. You may have seen this. You guys may have seen this as well, where he essentially says, "Listen, here is the Charlie Kirk's view on Israel. Supportive of Israel."
Mm-hmm.
But he was very frustrated with the fact that he could criticize his own government just fine. You can criticize the government of the United States, no problem. But you cannot, and he could not criticize anything about the government of Israel. And he said that it was becoming a big deal for Charlie, that he felt so constrained that he couldn't criticize Israel. So this is what I want to say.
You could criticize Trump before Israel.
Exactly. This is what I want to say to all the people. Like, everybody's trying to claim Charlie Kirk, whether it was because the guy even said, Charlie was not pro Hamas, right? He's not. I believe, and I'm not trying to claim him as
Raise
ours
your
either,
hand if you're pro. Actually,
but I think that Charlie was probably taking a stance that's close to ours. That's a guess. I don't know. I don't need to claim him. I'm not trying to pull the baby apart.
Yeah.
Because I don't really care. I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have, you know what I mean, skin in this game. But that's what it sounded like. At the very least, that truth was coming out. That's how he felt. And so I think we can easily extrapolate from that Charlie was. So why wouldn't you? What does that mean for a Charlie Kirk when it comes out that he can't criticize Israel? So Leah, would you say that you and I can't criticize Israel?
We don't have anybody. Well, not on Twitter, actually.
Okay. So no, that's a valid point. But do you think for Charlie Kirk, that is what was meant by that statement? That it's just that he can't say it because you might get banned on Twitter?
No, he meant it because of money. He meant money. We have nobody.
Now,
we have no pro-Israelis funding us, so no, we can say what we need to say.
The guy did say that they did lose donors over it, but he said they were not Israeli donors, which again, I also find fascinating. So when everybody wants to blame Israel for everything, you have to understand that there are corrupt people that are not of Israel that are beholden to and have special interests in Israel and that government continuing to do what they do.
I feel like it's Rumpelstiltskin say Israel one more time and the whole podcast shuts down.
Steeler says Obama owns Netflix. That's why. Kimberly says people still have Netflix. I canceled when Cuties was released. She says being against Israel's genocide does not automatically mean you are a Hamas supporter. It's not either or, both and. So, all right. So back to fat generals.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So and nuclear war, right?
Yeah.
So with Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu in town earlier this week, has President Trump been talked into going to war with his neighbors? Additionally, the U.S. warships have been gathered off the coast of Venezuela for weeks, and at least 3 speedboats accused of running narcotics have been blown out of the water. You guys seen that? Do you need to see that? Like they've now blown up 3 speedboats. That no due process. They just say it's an act of war. Speedboat gone. Play tough and yeah. So I mean, if they were running drugs, it is an act of war, in my opinion. So. And so I think fat shaming and chest pounding is not the way to go about building a spirit of the court in the military, especially when such a dressing down was broadcast to the rest of the country via a live video hookup. So what's hilarious to me is it's not a good look for the whole world to see all of these overweight generals, and I'm just going to berate you in front of everybody. That doesn't really look good either. So First Johnson quotes Yves Smith of the Naked Capitalist, says, after Charlie Kirk, perhaps I've become too fond of complicated theories, but it's ludicrous to have called so many senior guys in for such a silly agenda.
That's it. Yeah.
A stern memo and or video sessions would have been done. So the big stupid meeting, in my opinion, was to cover up a smaller gathering that had to be done in person, and where whoever was summoned would be a big tell as to what the focus was. Somebody says, yes, I think you nailed it. Besides the massive U.S. naval force parked off the coast of Venezuela, we are now hearing that the U.S. tanker aircraft are flying to the Middle East via England. We saw the same phenomena in the days preceding the June 24th attack on Iran. If the Trump administration is planning a coordinated attack on Venezuela and Iran, the commanders of the U.S. CENTCOM and the U.S. Southcom would be involved. While the plans for such attacks could have been discussed over secure video teleconferences, those sessions usually have dozens of people watching. If you want to keep close hold on such planning, you do it in person. If the CENTCOM and the Southcom commanders had been called to Washington alone, the odds are high that someone would have reported this. With the presence of the U.S. naval force off the coast of Venezuela and the movement of the U.S. aircraft towards the Persian Gulf, this likely would have attracted unwanted attention. So this could make some sense. Were they called in? And I can see Pete Hegseth playing this up. Okay, you're sitting down. You got some CIA with you. You got these guys making a plan and say, okay, so we need to talk to this group of guys. But if we bring in just this group of guys, it's going to blow our cover. So what can be so like kind of maybe some people will believe it if we bring in all the top brass at one time, and Pete's like, I got it. Let's call him fat. I have been wanting to do this for a long time. It's something that I really would like to address anyways.
Sure.
So let's make that our focus. And it's not just that, it's the DEI, no more this, no more that. And so Pete, being on television, is like, I will play this part. Okay. And in the background, you have the generals like, okay, well, does that mean I still have to, tighten my belt? Do I still have to do push-ups every day? Like, what's the deal? But still, let's play the baby Pete here.
All right. So, hang on. I got stop. No, that's from the last time.
Azerbaijan.
No, I know. It's always there. So when I stream from here, we have to do it the old clickaroo way here, which is fine.
Every time? I thought we fixed that.
We did not fix that.
You did one time.
If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction,
There
every
is no
member of
PT
the
test.
Joint Force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our Joint Force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. Most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching.
You have
Real
not
hard
seen
PT,
this.
there's either as a
Oh, at the
unit
beginning.
or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs, everyone in this room, to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve. This also means grooming standards. No more beards, long hair, superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff. This is on duty, in the field, and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join Special Forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans. But unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed to enforce standards. Both are unacceptable. And that's why today, at my direction, the era of unprofessional appearance is over. No more beardos.
So then JD Vance had to come out, and he has a beard, and he goes, I was in the Marines, but I'm vice president now, and
No.
and I can have a beard because I'm vice president.
No, that's
But
cheating.
in the military, you can't.
So, okay, I have a legitimate question that I don't have the answer for. Maybe somebody else does. So, the phrase commander-in-chief, and Trump loves to tout this. He literally will say it like this. You know, I am the head of the military.
Well, it's shocking to think about it.
So Trump is
you
the
know.
head of the military. So and I don't have the answer to this, and you don't either. I know you don't. Does that mean that the vice president is like vice head of the military? Because if he were, then JD Vance should have to comply.
Maybe. Can you?
And you know what? I think both Trump and JD Vance could use a little. Maybe I don't think they could do the PT stuff.
I don't know. I think Trump definitely could do anything. Like I gotta
Trump?
admit, Trump can do. Trump.
No,
has
he's
more
not going to be
energy.
doing jumping jacks. He's not going to be doing.
I don't care.
Stop it.
Whatever it is, whatever Trump does, he has more strength, more stamina than all of us.
Whatever Trump does is the greatest thing that was ever done.
The dude doesn't
on
sleep.
the face of the
he gets
earth.
up at like 5 a.m. He goes until like 2:00 at night, and then he gets up and does it again. Like I gotta hand that to him. Like that is legit. Like I don't know. I need a break. I bet he could do it. I want to see him do it, but I bet he could. I honestly, those are the props I'm going to give to Trump.
The only ones. I still don't think he could do it.
And I think JD has gotten in good shape. I gotta give him props where the props are due. That's what I'm saying. I think they could do Army PT.
I did not have a beard. I am now the vice president, so I get to do what I want to do. But I think Pete's trying to re-implement high standards, and that's a very good thing. When I was a young United States Marine, I did not
Wait, you didn't finish.
have a beard. I am now the vice president, so I get to do
Well, it's over. Yeah. Okay, wait, I'm vice president. I get to do what I want. The one very next to that.
Yeah. So I mean,
You want to actually play the Pete Hegseth clips?
This is the DEI one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't play this one yet.
Yeah. So no more identity months. No more dudes in dresses. I think that are they throwing us a bone? And honestly, if this is a cover for like going to war with Iran,
Identity months,
this is a good one.
DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done
with that blank, and he swears. So thank you for muting that for our family-friendly show.
What about this one? This is the one we just did.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We're good with that one. Okay. So what are your thoughts, guys, on the blasting of the overweight generals there?
So I have thoughts before I get to the actual comment section. there's part of me like in like Americana, if America was what I believe that America should be, this would be my opinion. Once you are like, if you've reached the stage of general, you've kind of earned your right to not have
To have your uniform made just for you.
yeah. Exactly.
So I still fit it
Right.
because it always is made to me.
Right.
So I fit it.
100%. So like, I want that to be the case.
I like, honestly, I kind of, it
However,
doesn't bother me.
However, in the state of sheer laziness and this idea that you can be bought off, that you can, like, a lot of the top brass, I would say almost all of them have reached that position because they've sold their souls,
You know,
and they really couldn't care less. And I think that their outward appearance is a representation of their flagrant disregard for the, you know,
Mavericks,
auspices of America.
Mavericks don't get promoted. Those who obey the orders get promoted.
Yeah.
And so what I think you're talking about is like the Pope and the Catholic Church.
And that's what I literally had that same vision in my head as I was saying it.
There's a reason why a certain kind of man makes it to general. And it's not because they won battles in war.
Yeah.
It's because they did whatever the Pope wanted. And it makes me sick. Like the Cardinals and like, speaking of the Pope, I do have this.
You have a Pope thing?
Tell me you haven't seen. Tell me you.
I don't know anything. So we have a new Pope. This is the first American Pope, like, that's ever been a Pope.
Uh-huh.
So everyone was hoping because he's American that he wouldn't be woke. That's not the case.
This could be world news, but since you mentioned it and we're talking about it, Pope Leo. Now, some people had high hopes that he would be conservative because his brother was like a Trump supporter or something. No. This guy is full on lefty liberal. So we'll just do the comment. We'll do the commentary over top of the strange thing you're about to see. And a lot of Protestants are like, hey, Catholics, come get your boy. Like,
is that a crystal?
No, it's a block of ice.
Okay.
So if you play it, we'll do our commentary.
I would now like to invite you to stand for the blessing of the waters.
Where is this at?
So this is at the Raising Hope for Climate Justice conference in Italy. A 3-day extravaganza organized by assorted Catholic eco-groups to mark the 10 years since Pope Francis presented a doom-laden environmental manifesto. The event pulled in scientists, politicians, artists, and clergy for what was billed as a rally for ecological conversion. Translation: a lot of hand-wringing about the planet's imminent demise wrapped in pious rhetoric.
Lord of life, bless this water. May it awaken our hearts, cleanse our indifference, soothe our grief, and renew our hope. Through Christ our Lord.
This water is going to soothe our grief. He's got to read it.
Lord, bless this assembly,
Why is it
this
such
conference.
a creepy film? It's in a
May the
studio.
dialogue we engage in contain respect for all gathered here
cooler? That's what I
and
want
the
to know.
entire Earth community. May we work towards a flourishing of all creation.
I'm going to turn that down.
Held
So,
in being by our Creator through Christ.
this is a studio. Where is he supposed to be at?
It is
It's
melting.
dripping.
I wonder
It's
if it was. Where did they get the ice from? How
Is
was
it
it
from an
transported?
iceberg? And how much like fuel was
commit
wasted?
to raising hope
No, it's actually not a
and to
studio. It's a
continuing
church,
to unfold
like a mega church.
No,
record of
turn this part up. This was funny to me.
We move from tears to hope, from grief to action. Let us speak our pledges. Each help us to unfold this river of hope. After each pledge,
they're gonna
we invite you to sing
take
the refrain, Laudate si, mi Signor, con tutte le tue creature.
So they're going to take this sheet and they're going to like wave it like you do a kid, like as a kid. And like
these words from
this
St.
black
Francis
girl,
Cansco of the creature's mean.
and
Praise be
something
you,
about
my
the
Lord,
creature's name. We
with
don't know the
all your
creature's
creatures.
name.
Who's the-
So
what creature?
I don't know. I listened to it 3 times. I don't know what he's talking about.
Laudato si, mi Signore.
And yeah, and they're gonna pull this sheet blanket thing out, and then they're gonna do like they do in your 3rd grade, and you make a river.
Laudato si.
Now you can skip ahead because I want you to see them make the river. It's quite the.
Oh,
We will raise hope by standing with communities most at risk.
Yes.
oh.
Will you join us?
Laudato si.
Malia, stop it.
Okay, you can stop. I mean, it's for real. So the Matt Walsh says horrific. The whole thing. Pope Leo blesses a block of ice and then stands there while these communist freaks do some sort of weird pagan earth worshipping hippie ritual. And the leader of the Catholic Church shouldn't be anywhere near this nonsense. What the heck is going on around here? Let's pause for a reality check, or in climate alarmist terms, a fact check from the Church of Perpetual Panic. This isn't leadership. It's liturgy meets LARPing. The Pope, whose day job is supposed to involve eternal souls, sacraments, and steering the faithful towards salvation, is out here taking part in an amateur dramatics production of a bad Greta Thunberg biopic. Christians are being violently attacked across the globe, and the Pope is symbolically blessing a block of ice. The past 48 hours. Now, I do have this clip. It's actually pretty disgusting to me because Durbin, what's his first name? Senator Durbin, he received a blessing, and people were wondering how could he receive a blessing if he is not pro-life? And this idiot, and I'm going to call him an idiot because I'm pretty mad at this idiot, goes on to say that if you are pro-death penalty, then you are just as equally not pro-life. And so why not?
So the death penalty is coming up right now. I don't know if you guys know this, in conversation, because Tennessee is one of the states that has a death penalty, and they took a 3-year hiatus of doing any death penalties. And just this week, 4 have come up, and one is this woman who brutally hacked this woman to death. I don't know when it was. It was like 20 some odd. It was a long time ago. Forgive me for not remembering the years that it was. And she's now slated to be executed in the state of Tennessee. So the conversation around the death penalty has increased, and you can thank the state of Tennessee for that, and for, getting back to what it is supposed to be getting back to, which is if that state specifically has the death penalty and these people have committed crimes that they have been found guilty of. And this woman, forgive me, I'm glossing over this story, but I shouldn't. I just don't have the details up. Not only did she commit this atrocious, hacking, they literally carved a pentagram on this woman's body. It was just really, really bad. Then she strangled and tried to hang somebody when she was in jail, and got another 25 years on her sentence. So it's she's totally crazy, but her lawyer is still trying to petition a stay of the death penalty in the state of Tennessee this week, because she says that she's repentant.
Oh, wow.
And I want to bring this up because Leah, do you have what you want me to bring up? Leave it up so that I can find it. You're actually beeping. Let me tell this story, and you go get your beep. Unplug yourself and go get your beeping meatloaf. Robert Morris. You unplugged me. We've done a story on Robert Morris. He used to run a mega church. He's a pastor, and he committed an atrocious crime starting with a 12 when this girl was 12 years old. Julie Roys just came out with this report. He has, and I shared this on the Resistance Chicks Facebook page, he has pled guilty to molesting this child starting when she was 12 years old. Okay. In 1987, I don't remember what year it started, but in 1987, it comes out that this has happened. The church, quote unquote, takes Robert Morris through repentance, restores him, and does not report the child molestation to the police. This victim, I think her name is Cindy, she tried, and her family tried to pursue this, and the I think he's the AG of Oklahoma. I think his last name's like Good or something or other. He was her lawyer at the time when she tried to pursue this, and it didn't go through, but it finally has. Now a lot of people are shouting statute of limitations, but Robert Morrison didn't live in Oklahoma. He was not a resident of Oklahoma, so the statute of limitations actually does not apply to him. But here's the punchline that I want to get to and how it relates to this and that woman being repentant, quote unquote. I shared this on Facebook, and someone had left the comment essentially saying that, God's grace covers everything. And we I'm paraphrasing here, but we ought to forgive, because I shared it and I was like, hang on a minute. So here's this. He pled guilty to this crime. Do you want to know what his punishment was for molesting a child continuously starting when she was 12 years old? He literally pleads guilty to having done this. Pedophile. He gets 6 months in prison and has to pay $270,000 and register as a sex offender. That's it. That's it. That's the punishment for ruining a little girl's life. Literally ruining a little girl's life, now grown woman, and she's had to pay for all these years of counseling. And so I shared it, and I was like, 6 months? 6 months? Forget the $270,000. That's going to be easy for him to come up with. That's a slap on the wrist. But I'm going back to this person's comment, and I'm like, hang on a second. This idea that God's grace covers so that people don't get punished. If you are truly repentant, and this is what I said back to this person, if you are truly repentant and you've asked God for forgiveness for something that was so grotesquely illegal, you would willingly submit yourself to the law and say, listen, I'm repentant and I can prove to you that I'm right about this. The thief on the cross. Mm-hmm. Because he literally says to the other thief on the cross, hang on a second. We deserve the punishment that we are getting, but this is an innocent man. So all of these people going out there shouting that repentance means that you don't have to actually be punished before the law. Did you read the Robert Morrison, Julie Roy's article?
No.
Did you see? So literally he pleads guilty. You were in the kitchen. I'm sorry, I'm going to reiterate this because I want Leah to hear this. We may do a whole episode on it. I'm not sure. He pleads guilty to starting molesting this girl at 12 years old. Gets 6 months in prison.
I knew
has
that.
to register as a sex offender, pay $270,000.
Yeah.
She tried actually to get payment from him to cover her counseling costs. So you did read the article.
Well, I've known about the whole story for years.
So, but to me, I want to vomit.
Yeah.
And then this idea that he's repentant when he had other victims after this.
Well, you can't be repentant if you're lying about it.
And he had been lying about it. He's telling the truth now.
If he had come out and had said that he did this and told the whole truth a long time ago and did everything he could to make up for it, we would be having a different story, but you still wouldn't be a minister. He wouldn't be a minister if he was telling the truth, because no one would go sit under him as a minister. So he had to lie.
Exactly. Thank you, Lorraine. She says, this is an abomination. Make millstones great again. Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot. Did we lose you guys again? We did. My whole rant.
The whole thing?
I don't know when it's...
So in the past, this was October 1st. In the past 24 hours, Pope Leo has said, being pro-life means more than just opposing abortion. Donald Trump's treatment of migrants is inhumane. Pete Hegseth sounds like a reckless warmonger. Climate change is the defining moral issue of our time. And then he blessed some ice. So now to the heart of why this is not just stupid, back to the ice and the blessing of the ice by the Pope. It's fittingly stupid. It mirrors the entire bogus climate crisis narrative in all its hollow virtue signaling glory. The whole Global warming hysteria thrives on theatrics, empty threats of melting glaciers, hockey stick rafts, polar bears on disappearing icebergs, celebrity PSAs and that accomplish nothing. All of this, and so to have the Pope, and I don't know if you guys got to see the part where he literally put his hands on the ice to bless it, and then he had to read the blessing that was written in like this homily that was handed out, and it's just so absurd that. And then this week he went on to say, not everybody needs to be pro-life, like protecting babies in the womb isn't that big of a deal. And I was like, well, guess what, you are going to die and go to hell. That's what you are. You are a hell-bound pope.
Facts.
No, he's certainly a hell-bound pope. It just first, yeah. All right, so let's go to the shutdown.
Shut it down. Party's over.
Trump says radical left shutdown misstep opens unprecedented opportunity for mass firings of federal workers. As we mentioned earlier, and so did Zero Hedge, Democrats voted for a full-blown government shutdown, which has inadvertently given the Trump administration the greatest gift ever: the ability to revive Doge-style efforts to cut waste and fraud. I have a meeting today with Russ Vought, he of the Project 2025 fame, which is interesting because remember when he kept telling us last year that they were extremists, he doesn't want to have anything to do with them?
Yeah.
Well, he's back to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity, Trump wrote on Truth Social. He continued, they are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to, quietly and quickly, make America great again. So Trump's moves, my move here, if you scroll down, who do you blame for the government shutdown? The Democrats. And Democrats voted for a government shutdown. And that's precisely what they got. You know what Thomas Massie said? He said, it's literally Biden's budget that the Democrats voted in favor of last time, and now they won't vote in favor of this time. It's stupid. They find themselves in an optics nightmare as party leaders were surely aghast watching CNN's Jake Tapper call out House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries over the hill they've chosen to die on, restoring provisions that were eliminated in Trump's big, beautiful bill that provides free health care to illegal immigrants. So let's play this clip here.
Donald Trump blessed it as well.
So let me ask you about a provision that the Republicans are talking about quite a bit. I know you want to talk about, and Democrats want to talk about, extending the Obamacare subsidies, which expire at the end of 2025. But they talk about the provisions, and it's right here, subtitle E, and this has to do with the repeal of health care subtitle changes, and specifically what it is. How they characterize it is, you want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. I understand that's not really an accurate depiction, but what it does do is...
It's a lie.
It's a lie, but what you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants and people who don't have health insurance. And also there is this provision, and it's not about undocumented immigrants, it's about people with asylum seekers and people with temporary protected status, et cetera, but about their ability to get Medicaid. So they're non-citizens, they're not undocumented, they're not illegal. Why even include that in a bill knowing that they're going to seize right upon that and use that to message? I understand that.
You lie. What's more, the Democrats handed President Trump a gift. Not only do they look stupid for trying to add $1.5 trillion to the national debt, they've opened the door for Trump to deliver on one of his core campaign promises, cutting waste and fraud. You can play Trump says a lot of good can come back from these shutdowns.
You're doing. Thank you very much, Linda. Okay, any questions, please?
Mr. President, as we inch closer to a government shutdown this morning, you said you might do a lot of layoffs. If DOGE is already reducing the federal workforce, why is it necessary to link more federal jobs cut to a shutdown?
Well, the Democrats want to shut it down, and so when you shut it down, you have to do layoffs. So we'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they're going to be Democrats. As you know, this country, no country can afford to pay for illegal immigration, health care for everybody that comes into the country, and that's what they're insisting. And obviously I have an obligation to not accept that. That would affect everybody. You know, when I see what we're doing with AI and all the plants that are opening up in the country, $17 trillion is coming. And if you compare that to Biden, Biden had in 4 years less than $1 trillion. We have 17 trillion, more than that. I think it's going to be much more than that, David, by the end of this year. I think it's going to be far over that. It's a record. It's already a record in 8 months. It's a record by a lot. And so we're doing well as a country, so the last thing we want to do is shut it down. But a lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things, but they want open borders. They want men playing in women's sports. They want transgender for everybody. They never stop. They don't learn. We won an election in a landslide. They just don't learn. So we have no choice. I have to do that for the country. Yes.
You mentioned. So let's go over here to this MSNBC clip, which talks about listen, I'm all for massive firings from the U.S. government. Like, this couldn't come sooner. But my fear is that it's just kind of like a dog and pony show where, you know, maybe they're using it to go after their political enemies or something like that. The question is, who would they be firing? And what agencies would they be getting rid of? I know they shut down some of the green energy things that were going out, which should be.
The president put on a social media post a picture of Russ Vought and said all eyes are on Russ Vought today. And I don't want to oversimplify what is so very not simple with the government shutdown, but effectively you have an OMB director out of the White House who is effectively running the federal government and making massive decisions here. They could potentially cripple some of these agencies, which we should be clear, as he wrote in Project 2025, he has argued that some of these agencies are too big and have hurt Americans. And so from his vantage point, he has been empowered by the president to move forward with these firings. And then on top of that are the cuts, the budget cuts, that he has been very clear that he has the power to decide what projects get allotted money. And as Speaker Johnson said yesterday, it is a subjective decision, one to advance this administration's priorities. And just this morning, in a tweet, Russ Vought, he made clear that there is another project specifically in Chicago that is set to, at least for now, get withholding of funds, saying $2.1 billion in Chicago infrastructure projects, specifically the Red Line extension and the Red and Purple modernization project, have been put on hold to ensure funding is not flowing via race-based contracting. Yesterday, he threatened 2 infrastructure projects here in New York. He threatened 16 other Democratic-led states in green energy projects. And when we're talking about this Red Line extension in Chicago, I know most people don't live in Chicago, but for those that do, this is a 5.5-mile extension that has been talked about for decades, went through this contracting process, and is currently moving forward up until this moment here. And this was a line that was a rail line that was going into the far south side of Chicago, a largely minority, low-income population that has never been served by a rail line to give them access to the rest of Chicago. These are the types of projects that we are talking about this White House using the shutdown to halt funding for.
Yeah, and is taxpayer
So
funding.
I didn't really know who this Russ guy was. Michelle, I'm going to need you to go into the search bar because I can't retweet anything, obviously, and go to Trump Truth Social. So somebody made an AI deal with Russ Vought of the Project 25 as the Grim Reaper, and Trump retruthed this out. And I just feel like this is a let's see, you're not. How come yours is just Trump Truth Social's not coming up? Go up to the beginning. Yeah, so I am not so sure. I guys, this is definitely just scroll down. Just scroll down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just want you to play the thing. You're probably going to get a strike. One of those. No. You got to see this. This is the meme. This is what I want you to play.
Screen sharing.
I know. This is the one I want you to play.
Okay.
So,
Leah, what is this?
I know, right? And it's, I don't even know if you can play it.
I don't think it's going to get a copyright.
No, you want to right click on that, don't you?
Can I please do what I need to do?
You will because of the music. I think
okay.
you might.
Well, yeah, maybe. If it's got, do we have to play it with the music?
Kind of.
The whole time?
No.
Oops.
It's the President of the United States.
Okay, so I can pause both YouTube streams if you want me to pause them while you play this.
Okay. Okay.
You really want to play
Well,
it that
people
bad?
need to see it. It's like
But
it's news.
why can't I just mute the music?
Because that's the whole point. You have to listen to the
Well, Facebook
stupid
also might
lyrics.
stop it as well. YouTube will take it down, like take down the whole video, stop the whole stream.
Okay, pause
They
it.
may-
That's
may
my
do that
show. I
anyway.
got to do my
Okay.
show.
I'm gonna. So YouTube, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Hope they come back.
But that was after he tweeted out this one, which you put in the intro. He has been on a
You have that one
meme-
up already?
Yes, he's been on a meme
Meme
rampage. I'm not sure whether to laugh or to be embarrassed by
I'm embarrassed.
the president of the United States.
I'm trying to find that one.
This is real Donald Trump.
Okay.
I do not think it is professional, obviously. I think that every time we go through this whole shutdown shenanigans, it is a circus. So why not turn it into a circus? Why not pretend like it's a circus? Because that's what it is. It's not really important. It's not really a big deal. And it's a circus.
It's a disgusting
circus
video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault. It's a disgusting.
So Leah sends this video to me today, and I had seen pictures of a sombrero, but I had not seen the video, and I'm like, what am I watching? So can you explain for the rest of the class why
it's
an
something
AI
about
generated?
Oh yeah, it is.
know,
Yeah,
meme.
and it guys, I really some people were saying it'll take away Trump's bill will take away Medicaid or Medicare or health care for illegals. Some are saying that it won't, and that's what they're fighting over. I think it's all just it's just a dog and pony show. This lady, I think, knows where it's at. She does a few swear words, but not until she gets like a minute or two in. But she is telling us the truth. And this whole thing, they wanted the shutdown. They went on vacation in August. If they wanted to fund the government, they could have hammered out some plans. The whole plan was they're going to get to a shutdown. They're going to do this thing. And
it's a dog and pony show. Every single time they do this.
Every single time.
They would. They spent the last week, 2 weeks now, scaring you with all kinds of rhetoric about a government shutdown, and they blamed each other, and it's the Schumer shutdown, and the conservatives want to take away all of your Medicaid. They scared you for the last 2 weeks, and then you know what happened? They couldn't get the votes, and so they shut down. But if they wanted to, they would, because yesterday they all got together to try and vote on simple legislation that would at least keep the government open until they could figure out a more permanent one, and they got shut that one down too. And instead of staying all day yesterday to try and get legislation passed, you know, like they did with the big beautiful bill where they showed up in their pajamas instead of staying yesterday in order to do it, they all left and went home to celebrate a Jewish holiday. If they wanted to, they would. There's current legislation sitting on the floors of Congress that would lower the price of your ground beef that comes from your local farmers, okay? That legislation is still sitting there. It's only been introduced, hasn't been talked about, hasn't been voted on. Most people don't even know it exists. It was introduced, I think, by Thomas Massey. Okay, if they could vote on it, they could do it today, and then they could lower the price of your ground beef, so at the very least you could have some ground beef with your noodles, but they didn't, okay? Instead they went and they left to celebrate a Jewish holiday. If they wanted to, they would. Okay, they knew that this shutdown was coming up like months prior because it happens every single time, like clockwork. Okay, that doesn't change. So instead of actually staying in office during the month of August to try and get it all figured out before it became crunch time, okay, instead of staying in office and getting it figured out and trying to get the votes and taking that 30 days in August to try and get something put together that everybody could agree on, they took the month off and they went to Israel and they kissed the wall. If they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to, they would. They could switch out all the billions and billions of dollars that we're supposedly getting from the tariffs, and they could switch out your income tax with those billions and billions of dollars, which would put more money in your pockets. They could make legislation in order to do that, okay? If they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to, they would. They spent an entire weekend to fly out to Texas on taxpayer dimes, undoubtedly on private planes, in order to investigate a 60-year-old assassination of a president who's been dead for a really long time, instead of actually taking that money and putting together a committee to investigate the death of Charlie Kirk on a deeper level, because we all know that something's fucked up with that. If they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to be true America First patriots,
Well, I think
like
we get it.
Yeah.
We get her with her
Right.
Foul language there.
Exactly. Well, and that's where people are at right now. Marjorie Taylor Greene shared out another one of hers that was completely swear word laden. I was like, oh, we can't play that one. But that's the whole point. If they wanted to avert a shutdown, they could
Yeah.
have. It's a dog, it's a pony show. There's a lot of more, there's a lot of different things that are more important. I'm going to read this from Owen Benjamin on the Charlie Kirk. And so he's talking about Candace Owens, and everybody going after Candace Owens for being mentally ill is currently saying that the truth is this. A young man climbed onto a roof he had never been on. He assembled a 30-06 gun and shot a man in the neck in a crowd at a distance. He then disassembled the gun with a screwdriver and put it into a backpack that couldn't hold it. He jumped down and texted 4 paragraphs using language like my old man, drop point, and vehicle. And he described an old man being interrogated because they thought it was him, even though he had left. He engraved detailed wordings on the cartridges of the bullets and referenced doing this to his trans lover in the text. So before you go assessing other people's mental health, how about take a look at what you're claiming is true, because that official story is actually impossible for hundreds of reasons. So what some people are saying is that this kid was a patsy if he was trans. And there's I guess, Black Mirror is a TV show I'm not going to watch, but there's an episode where the government finds a person who has child pornography or is a pedophile or something, and uses that to blackmail them into becoming a murderer.
Okay.
What happened to the old man who just started randomly yelling in the crowd? Why would he do that? We all thought he was the shooter. What happened to him? Why don't we know anything about him? And why would he start randomly yelling right after the shooting and get himself arrested? And it just so happens that he has pornography, I think on his computer or something like that. Let me find out. That was something I read. I'm going to look that one up.
So you confused me for a minute when you said old man, because Lee and I have conversations about what's old and not.
People are calling him that. That's the only way to describe him.
No, it's fine. He's just not. He's not a college student.
Right.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
They're all calling him old man. It's like what they're
behind the scenes in the political world. And I know that sounds like a redundant statement to say, like, yeah, Michelle, we get it. What I mean is, do you guys remember when Trump came out and he said, these people, whoever these people were, I don't think it was the Charlottesville speech. It was one of these speeches. He was like, these people are so evil and they are so corrupt you can't even imagine. Now, regardless of whether you think Trump is one of them or not, I think that was one of the true statements that Trump said. The layers of evil, I believe that Charlie Kirk had uncovered those layers, some of them. There is a conspiracy theory that is not being talked about that Michelle has. I'm not saying that it led to a murder of Charlie Kirk, and I don't think it's tied to Israel. I'm not saying I know for a fact. I believe that Charlie Kirk began to see the man behind the American government curtain. That is the current government, the Trump government, the Trump administration. And I think that he began to see that it's the same man. It's the same man behind the Clintons, is behind Trump, is behind Vance, is behind, and that man is not Israel, by the way. It's the devil. It's Satan. It is Satan. Satan is the man behind the curtain whether it's the Trump administration, whether it's Israel, whether it's Hamas, whether it is the French government, I mean, you name it, whether it's the EU, whether it's the UK government, the man behind the curtain is the devil. And so you can't play the devil's game. And so I think that it Charlie Kirk got caught in the middle of an awakening. And so, do I believe that it was just the devil that martyred Charlie Kirk? Yes, at the very root of it. What tree is the tree that actually pulled the trigger and is behind it? I will say this. I would not be surprised if it was our own U.S. government that is headed by, that would be Donald Trump's government. Okay, Michelle, are you stating on this live show that you think that Donald Trump is behind Charlie Kirk's shooting? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that that same machine that Trump is enabling, that Trump is okay with. I watched a clip today that someone had shared out. It actually ended up being from January of 2024. But it was an FBI whistleblower, and it was, you may have seen this, Leah. It was super creepy. This guy, he's this FBI whistleblower. He comes out and he's like, listen, this is all I can say. Get yourself right with God. Get 3 months worth of food. Get to know at least 3 good neighbors who you all agree that you will have each other's back when something happens. Make sure that you have ammo. Make sure that you, like, he literally, this is an FBI whistleblower. Granted, it was, people are thinking it's new because it's just been put out, but it was from January of 2024. That FBI still exists. Whether it's Kash Patel and Dan Bongino or anybody else, it's the same system. It's still in play. It's still operating exactly as it was before. That should terrify everybody. So, and I'll end with this and we'll pull up what Leah's got next. The FBI and the CIA are mercenaries for hire. They'll kill anybody for any reason. Just give them a reason. Is it more probable that our own government took out Charlie Kirk than Israel? In my humble opinion, yes. Do I think it was this kid? Absolutely not. No way. Matt points out all the time that the kid, essentially, he had this toolkit that he needed to assemble and disassemble this rifle. That toolkit was left behind, and somehow he manages to reassemble this gun and then get rid of it in the woods without that toolkit. So if he jumped off of that roof with the rifle in his pants, because that's the only thing that could possibly be true, because you see the video of it, the pants would have ripped. It's the most ridiculous story. And then, like you said, the that text message with his transgender lover is like a script written by an FBI, wannabe novelist. None of it makes any sense. So I'm going to go over here and check some comments, and then we'll move on with the rest of the show.
So the guy's name, the old man, so everybody's calling him, he's 71. His name is George Zinn. And he supposedly admits to police that he got up and started yelling to distract so that the shooter could get away. He admits this to the police, supposedly. Zinn is being held on obstruction of justice charges. Separately, he has also been charged with possession of child abuse material. Dear God. Which, and I mean, all fairness, probably a lot of adult males are, but he intentionally yelled he was the shooter, and by doing so, obstructed law enforcement from focusing on the actual shooter. I shot him, now shoot me. When asked by an officer, yes, where the weapon used in the shooting was located, he allegedly responded, I'm not going to tell you. The sheriff said that there was currently no evidence Mr. Zinn colluded with the gun. Sheriff Smith added that Mr. Zinn is also being held for sexual exploitation of a minor, and that agents found more than 20 images of children in various stages of undress and sexual posing. On Monday, a judge ordered that Mr. Zinn be held without bail, calling him a substantial danger to the community. He also has a long history of minor crimes, including an arrest in 2013 for sending a threatening email to the host of the Salt Lake City Marathon just days after the Boston Marathon bombing. He's a prime suspect. Tyler Robinson, the prime suspect in the killing, was charged on Tuesday with 7 counts. So this is very strange that right in the midst of a shooting, some random guy would come up and say, I'm the shooter, now shoot me. And we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to be like, oh, that was some crazy guy who was shocked at what was going to happen.
And it also does feel like a lot of, distractions are being thrown out because all of the people that are obsessed with the actual shooting, how come they're not talking about this guy?
So,
I'll be honest, I forgot about him.
Here's the best theory, right? The best theory is that there were this man was in this Discord chat with these other transgenders.
And knew that it was going to come.
And they talked about it.
Yeah.
And they had all, because they're transgender.
Yeah.
And they're sexually evil and messed up, had been sharing child pornography.
Yeah.
Right? So that was probably what the bridge that tied them all together. And so, when you're in a Discord chat, there's no way for people to identify your age. And he could have been pretending to be into this group of people, a young 20, 30-year-old person, right? When he's really a 71-year-old guy in this group of transgenders, just kind of talking and fantasizing and doing all these crazy things. So he's probably in on it because there were all these Discord chat people in on this, right? They've caught the logs. Well, he's there as a 71-year-old guy because he's going to do the noble thing, which is give Tyler the more time to get away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he had to be there for. And now he has to not tell anybody.
Yeah.
Because then that makes Tyler even more guilty. Right?
Yeah.
So Tyler, I believe, is pleading not guilty. Right? So this guy, I believe, as an old guy, thinking that he's, getting to the end of his days, is trying to fall on his trans sword or whatever.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm going to protect this other trans pedophile person or whatever. We have no proof of this kid what's so funny, we have no proof of him actually being trans. But this whole community of trans that supposedly they're telling us exist is pretty obviously dark and perverted and evil. So that is the best theory we have. And the question is he talking? Obviously, if I am the FBI, I'm going to say open and shut. You're connected to Tyler. Let me, I want to know. Tell me, talk to me, right? So I think that there's a lot there that's not being talked about. And like the guy Owen Benjamin was saying, a lot of times the government will force people to do things when they say they have things on them, right? So George Zinn, everyone, George Zinn. He's obviously in on it somehow. There's no way for you to act that quickly. Oh, something bad happened. You know what I mean? To be like, oh, I'd like to let that random shooter get away.
Yeah.
There's no way for you to know unless you were in on it, right?
Right.
So speaking of perversion, let's go to the Netflix story because Elon Musk has called for everybody to cancel Netflix over a lot of their trans brainwashing. Momentum in the Netflix cancellations hype and internet searches accelerated by the end of the week after Elon Musk's and large Twitter accounts, including the libs of TikTok, urged Americans to cancel subscriptions over what they described as pro-transgender messaging pushed by the far left crazies. Now, Elon shared, he said, this is the funniest thread. He shared a bunch of memes on Netflix. This is Dead End Paranormal Park, a show on Netflix, is pushing transgender on children. The show is advertised for...
Okay. All right. We're back. Dropped frames. Hang on. Let me make sure they're on Rumble. Okay. We're back. You were talking about this show.
Yeah. So in this thread, there's a lot of memes. And one of the memes was a 7-year-old went to his parents and said, "I want to be a pirate."
Yeah.
So they took him to the doctor and they cut his eye out and put a patch on. They cut his hand off and put a hook on. And they cut his leg off and put a peg leg on and said, "Arr, there you go, matey."
Wow.
But that's what they're doing with
Yeah,
the
that's
transgender
exactly-
kids.
yeah.
So if you scroll down, there's a video here of the Dead End Paranormal Park, a TV show for 7-year-olds.
It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney, and I can choose if and when I tell people. I've never been happier. And that's saying something when I spent today chased by terrifying zombie mascots. Pugsley reminded me how important it is to live your life without apology. So I think I gotta give living here a shot, don't you?
You don't need my permission. I just wouldn't want Courtney as a roommate. We'll be the best of friends.
Oh, it's so gross.
Says a
So
demon
evil.
for the podcasters.
If you scroll down, Netflix says the woke transgender is a Trojan horse. Cancel Netflix. Netflix appears to openly boasts about discriminating against white people in their inclusion and diversity report. They celebrate that the percentage of racially underrepresented directors and lead characters has been growing significantly over the past few years. So they're obviously excited. And you see this, and we just watched, because we have movie time with Uncle Jack as our bonding time. We watched the latest Mission Impossible, which wasn't a bad movie. It didn't have anything bad in it, but except for it was so DEI, and it's like
Because there were women heroes around every corner.
Well, they have
Two
said
women pilots.
They have said for the Academy Awards that you have to have a certain number of Black people, Asian people, and all the things. So now everything is just goulash. So like the president is a woman. The captain of the Navy ship is a woman. On the Navy, seemed like Navy SEALs, but these divers, you had to have a woman, but she looked kind of like a man. And every time you turn around, there's a woman doing another thing, and you have to have a Black guy in there, and it's embarrassing. It's like when you watch the Hallmark movies, and like the pretty white girl always has a Black girl friend,
or even the handsome white guy has a Black friend.
Yeah, it's weird.
so racist.
It's weird.
DEI and the way that it's implemented is racist.
Yeah, it is. If you scroll down, this is a Netflix. This is the Babysitters Club, pushing transgenderism on kids, shames characters for misgendering, and demands hospital staff refer to and treat a boy as a girl. I remember the Babysitters Club.
Hang on, it's not playing. Let me see. Normally it lets me play these, but it's not. It's just opening it up. I don't know why. Sorry.
So, I don't know if you can play anymore. Strawberry
try a different
Shortcake. Barry in the Big City is promoting transgender drag queens to children. Nope. You can just, I guess you could just copy it. Or you could just copy it, right? Just open up as another one.
Maybe.
Netflix is deliberately choosing to pay people to create sexualized content for children. Now, Elon, speaking of subscriptions, you're canceling Netflix, but I need my Twitter back. You crazy nincompoop.
Okay, I can try to grab it, but it's a very long link. And you guys are just hearing that. You're not seeing it. I'm going to try to put it in here. The zero hedges are sometimes a little bit weird anyway. Let's try and see if this does work. Okay.
Correct response. Like cotton candy clouds floating in a blue sky, Banafi will slide that runway. Banafi, tell us why you chose this delicious dress.
As a transberry, I love living out loud as my most authentic self. And I wanted to dress as bold and unique as I am, which, let's face it, is a tall order.
Wow. That's pretty sick.
So
transberry for Strawberry Shortcake. I mean, man, my mom didn't really want me to do My Little Pony and some of this stuff because it was a little bit witchcrafty.
I
Is it pretty? Bring back the witchcraft instead of the
I
witchcraft's
really,
evil
I
too. So.
struggle watching animation.
It's horrible. It's really bad. You'd think in like 2025 it would be better, but it is worse.
But animation is unfortunately like cotton candy to kids. They
Addicting.
can't stay away from it. And
Uh-huh.
so allow me to, and I know Leah's got a lot more links, but just allow me to insert this because I've not really
No.
ever said this
Yeah.
on the show. Okay. And I want to be careful how I say this. We are living in a life where I can only imagine how exhausting it is to try if you're a parent of young children, how exhausting it is to protect them from the things of the world and to set standards and to live a life where television and cartoons are not a part of your kid's life. Okay. And you can say to me, Michelle, you don't have kids, you don't know what it's like. That is 100% true from certain aspects. I was a kid though, and there were a lot of things that my mom would not allow us to participate in, would not allow us to do. And looking back on it, I actually wish that my mom would have been more strict, that my mom would have been sheltered me even more. Now, would that have been easy for her? No, because would I have pushed back on it? Yes, 100%. And as a single mom, it's almost impossible to do. Okay. But as a married couple, it's probably a lot easier. Your child is being harmed by animation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not just video games. Okay. A lot of parents don't even let their kids play video games, and praise God and kudos to you. Okay. Even a lot of Christian animation, it's not natural. Okay. So I'm not trying to set the bar super high and like you guys just like shut me off. Please don't do that. I'm not criticizing. I'm not even saying that you're in the wrong from a like, God's looking at you and you're parenting wrong. A lot of parents can't help the fact that they utilize the television as a babysitter for their kids.
Yeah.
I get that. Like, I'm not even trying to like poo-poo you people, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't state the facts as they are. Okay. We all know that like the processed food is bad, but sometimes you have to feed it to your kids. But that doesn't mean that you don't stop saying that the processed food is bad. And so these cartoons are bad for your children.
Yeah.
They're unhealthy. They're not good for your kids. They suck you in, and any agenda can be pushed into your child by what they watch.
Cartoons are, man.
And you may think that the agenda is innocuous.
Yeah.
It may just see, oh, this is, let's say it's like Paw Patrol or something like that. That pretty much every parent of every young child lets their kid watch, even the Christians. Like, oh, it's just Paw Patrol. I'm telling you, like, it's not good for the brain development of your child to sit in front of a screen.
Yeah. No.
And then when you add to it to sit in front of a cartoonized screen, it's just it takes them out of reality. And of course, it's not good for adults either. I just want to, I've never really said that on the show, that even animation is not good for your kids. Like, even if it's good animation, I'm not saying to pull your kids from every Christian cartoon that they watch. Like, please don't think I'm being harsh here, but let's just say facts are facts, and it's not good. So you have to do the best that you can to avoid all of that stuff when possible.
Doing the best you can, I think, is key there.
Sherry says it's exhausting because Sherry is actually raising her granddaughter. And she says it's exhausting. Constant bucking against our values and principles because of the freedom the neighborhood kids participate in, especially right now with all of the Halloween crud. Lorraine says, I'm now the annoying aunt guiding my niece with her littles of all the dangers to be aware of: cartoons, video games, books, stores, never mind vaccine schedules and Frankenfoods. The agendas are many.
It's a lot.
And so you can feel as a parent or as, a like Lorraine, kind of a guide and a mentor or whatever, you can feel like it's just too much because there's too many things. I get it. It's
well, just to show you that the devil has an agenda for your kid's soul, for your soul. And if your kid gets swallowed up, you get swallowed up, your neighbor's kids are getting swallowed up. It's just going to take more time. That's why there are so many healing ministries out there. That's why there's so many deliverance ministries out there, is because our generation had all of its things that we had to deal with,
Yeah.
and we don't recognize all these little tiny things that the devil gets in your life. It's stunting growth, it's changing growth, it's not allowing you to grow up healthy. And so then when you're older, it's not about the issues that you're dealing with. It's not about it, the Netflix or the transgender ideology it's a symptom, and the messaging is anti-God, anti-self, anti creation, right? And so that's what you have to buck and try to overcome, especially when some of that is done in a damaged household. So now Michelle and I are talking about like the overlap between having mental damage
Yeah.
and abuse with the demonic. And so this is where God wants you to be able to understand the spirit realm right here, and you and your mental health right here. What happens is when you have trauma and you're growing up in a not stable household, you're going like this instead of in a straight line. And then what happens is the demonic is also going like this, but in a different on a different trajectory. And so you're literally kind of um overlapping, and at these marks is where a demon kind of gets in, a deliverance is needing to be done. And some people have a lot more to go through deliverance because they have so many squiggly lines where my mind was broken here, my mind was broken here, my mind was broken here, my mind was broken here. Well, while your mind is being broken, it's being broken by a demon. Okay, so then you got to go boom here, and then click click click, and you've got to go back to each one of those incidences and get your brain and your healing uncoupled from that demonic influence in your life and in your mind. Whereas if you're kind of healthy as a kid, but let's say you don't know Jesus, it's a lot easier to distinguish and get set free from those demons if you were raised by a loving family, right? Because even the people in the world can love. The Bible says there are people out there who don't give their kids a snake when they ask for bread. The kids that were given a snake when they're asked for bread, they got troubles. They got problems. They have to deal with untangling the demonic influence, the words that the demons were saying and have access to. These, I would call them access points, with your own mental healing. And that's what we talk about on Healing for the
Couple
Fractured
comments
Soul.
I want to read, and then we'll move on. Sharon says, my daughter watched Madeline videotapes. They taught manners in French. Nothing bad. I did not allow her to watch commercial TV, Veggie Tales, and only educational computer games. Again, I can't advertise enough for the Country Life vlog. I feel like every parent should, if you need to have screen time for your kids actually find things. You know how like it's a joke that you buy a kid a toy and they're more entertained by the box. That's actually true. So the same thing would go for these like cartoons. The kids are actually more entertained by like a Mr. Rogers where you go and you like learn how to do something in a factory or whatever than those fake things. She says, or Ballistic Mystic says, animation is the drug for imagination on fantasy. Well said. Sharon says, it takes over a decade to make these cartoons animation. All movies and cartoons after 2005 had non-moral and evil programming. Lorraine says, they may seem like little things, but in reality, they are big things being shown in the formative years. I could not agree more. Over here on Rumble, Jim says, just go back to Popeye the Sailor Man. James says, they are as bad as Disney, sick. Kimberly says, much different than Peanuts and Bugs Bunny. And Dr. It's his doctor now, not Daniel. Dr. Putnam says, and Scooby-Doo, it's all in the commercials. James says, this stupid stuff would not have been allowed back in the day. Jim says, send your kid out into the backyard to go play without phones. James says, it's all anti-God. Sherry says, the watchman on the wall must speak about danger or the blood of those harmed is on his or her head. If you sound the warnings and they don't listen, their blood is on their hands. Well said, and thank you for that. The last thing that I want to say is I think about our Amish friends who we love dearly, and I do want to write them and get a beehive, a nuke from them, by the way. Sorry, that's an aside for Leah to help me remember. They have boys that we've watched grow up over the last 10 years or so, And I remember when they would come across things like Spider-Man. And even though they didn't watch the cartoons, but because they had seen it at like in different places, they thought it was cool. They thought that it was something that they wanted, that thing to have, like the Spider-Man thing or whatever. And I remember just how out of place that felt for me.
The Amish to want
for them to
Spider-Man.
want Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it like hurt my heart. Like it hurt my
did.
soul
No, it really
to see
does.
that. Because it's not, and I'm going to go back to Sherry's comment and then I'll be done. Sherry Kula, she talked about the neighborhood kids. You could shelter your child just fine.
Yeah.
You could keep them from watching the cartoons. You could find things for them to do. The biggest challenge is fighting the pressures of their peers.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge. And so if you start there, instead of trying to address more or less the actual thing, why is the peer pressuring and what demonic doors are being opened by the peers that you're allowing your child to be around?
No, that's really good. That's really good.
All right, we'll move back to the news.
Well, I want to move Canada. No, okay, go ahead.
Sherry says that Paisley loves the Country Life vlog. We made flatbread after watching her make it.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm
That's
telling
funny.
you, the kids love this stuff. It's got kittens, it's got birds, it's
know.
got crows,
I
it's
know.
got food.
It's so fun.
It's great. Thank
So
you,
I'm going to
Sherry.
play this, Michelle, and then I want your reaction to it and everybody else's. I don't know how much of this is true. I have not been able to double check or fact check Candace Owens on this. But Candace Owens reveals that everyone connected to Charlie Kirk's case was new. A new FBI director and new FBI members in Utah after cleaning house. A new CEO and new lead surgeon at the hospital, ranked extremely low in treating trauma and traumatic neck wounds, not even the closest hospital. A new judge appointed in May of 2025, and the coroner brand spanking new. Candace says that 9/10 was everybody's first day on the job. So I'm going to play this, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Be right back. I got to check this stuff.
We mentioned that apparently it was kind of everybody's first day on the job, right? 9/10 was everybody's first day on the job, meaning that there were a lot of these recent and brand new hires in Utah that would all kind of come across and have to deal with this case. Kash Patel, I told you, cleaned house at the state borough. He then installs a person that has a long tenure in DC, Robert Bowles. His first case is Charlie Kirk's assassination. Why would he want to uproot and move his family to Utah after having roots in Virginia for so long? I don't know, but that's the circumstance. Also, I told you there was a new CEO and therefore a new lead surgeon, Andrew Zenger, over at the hospital, the regional hospital that Charlie was taken to, although that was not the nearest hospital from the university. And it also ranked extremely low in terms of the most best equipped hospital, if you will, to deal with the sort of trauma that Charlie was suffering from, a neck wound, obviously. So it's very strange. I think it would be interesting to learn whether or not that new CEO and surgeon worked on Charlie. That's something that I would like to find out. If you know that information, please send it to us at tips@CandaceOwens.com. Okay. That's not it, though. There were also some other new people, and I forgot to mention the judge that is in the case, that is overseeing the case against Tyler Robinson, is Judge Tony F. Graff Jr. He was recently appointed to the 4th District Court in May of 2025 by Governor Spencer Cox. I was also informed that the coroner in this case was also brand spanking new. That name has not yet been released. I am told that person is new. Okay.
Okay, so that's my first time seeing that. Leah said she wanted to know my thoughts on it. The tagline on our show is it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. This is what I have to say about that. I hate so much that we have to question everything now. We are living in a time where we have been lied to, and we have been lied to consistently. You know, earlier a video brought up, you know, that woman talked about, you know, the 60-year-old assassination of a president, JFK. At minimum, for the past 60 years we've been lied to, but you have to go before that, go all the way back to Woodrow Wilson. We've been being lied to. We've been being lied to by our government for like a century. Okay. And so we live in 2025 where AI is alive. Trump is talking about it. He's super excited. He's like, we can lay off all these government employees because we have AI. We have all of this technology. There are, medical advances that we know have not been released to the public. There's so much going on. Everybody is related to everybody and in bed with everybody. I do not. First of all, I think we all have to come to the conclusion. I think everybody that watches our show has reached the conclusion that whatever story they're telling us about Charlie Kirk is not true. That is not what happened. So we're all there on the same page there. Then when you add to that, if the story that we're being told is not true, and it was a conspiracy, remember the definition of a conspiracy is just two or more people getting together and conspiring and to do something wrong and evil. If there was a conspiracy behind the death of Charlie Kirk, meaning more than one person was involved, then that means that it was probably more than one agency involved. So now here we are going, how high up does it go? How far does it go? Who all is involved? So I'll say this in response to Candace's investigative journalism here. And I don't like Candace, by the way. You guys know that. There's no love lost between us and Candace Owens. Every stone has to be unturned and every theory is plausible. Like, that's it. Like, that's where we're at. So I actually don't mind her asking these questions. I don't mind her presenting this stuff now, because I want to look into it too. I want to play. Let's see. I don't know if we have not. I'm trying to find this from not a Facebook link, but I'm going to show this thing. I can go back to it. It just, hang on. Let's see. Let's make this small. No, you can't. Okay. I can't see replies on.
So somebody had done a little video of himself
mentioned that
being
apparently,
like, here I just disassembled my rifle without a screwdriver while running, and I'm putting it into the woods covered in a towel. And I did this for you. And he's like sending this text message, and it's like, of course I'm going to do this as a gunman. Let me my
I
thoughts.
can grab it.
No, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Play your thing. My thoughts on the Candace Owens thing is my big, and I played it because I want to throw things out there for you guys. Candace muddies the water and overreaches. And what she needs to do if she were going to be effectual is to hone in, hammer in on the things that really stick out and matter. So to say there's this overarching thing that goes back till May,
yeah, that seemed a bit reaching to me.
Then that is throwing me off. And I feel like that, like Candace Owens, like she'll go 2 steps forward,
Yeah.
and we're all like, hey, yeah, no, that makes sense. And then 5 steps backwards, where I'm just like, dude, no, I'm not going with you on the guy who put in May. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless it's spiritual.
So that goes back to what I said.
So then I would say, did the devil put those people in place?
100%.
Yeah. Yes. And so
Which
that's
goes
my
to-
big thing on, yeah.
And I'm going to read some comments here in a second, which goes to, we do not battle against flesh and blood. And I know that we say that scripture so much as the body of Christ that it loses its potency, but it's so real, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
We are not, and here's the thing that really upsets me about the church quoting it so much. If you truly believed it, you would change your life.
Yeah.
Because you can't battle the devil if you have one foot in the world and one foot in God. Like, you can't do it.
Right.
So Candace, she may tout Christianity because it seems helpful, but you can't take out the devil if you're living such a corrupt life. So back to the kids stuff, the Cantrells. hello, Cantrell family, agree. Saying that the Tuttle Twins best shows. I've not seen those, but I know that they are, so that's awesome. Thank you for that tip. She says, amen, send them outside. The other day, she sends us a Marco Polo of the kids. Hang on, we're just going to play this because I can. Let me pull it up here. Nope, that's me. Hi, me. Where are the children? Here's the children. Let's see if I can show them.
You guys are doing polos, but I just thought it was fun. Really quickly, it's raining today, but they're over there. I don't know if you can see, burning their school. They had school that they finished, and we pulled out of their binder. We're getting ready to go to the next level for their classes because we just.
Can we set it on fire,
So they
Mom?
literally were burning their schoolwork so that they could, because they were moving to the next level.
Yeah.
So
I want to make a fire.
what do you do when you have 8,000 children? You send them outside and you allow them pyrotechnics. That's what you do when you have 8,000 children. So the Cantrells have 8,000 children. No, that's us. And so they send them outside to burn their schoolwork. You missed. I didn't play it to the end to see that
To make a fire, not
Zion and Hadassah walking out there in the rain, playing in the rain. No excuses. No excuses. You know what you're going to get here and allow me to say this. You know, so many. I got an email the other day I haven't even responded to. I'm so behind on emails again. I'm so sorry, guys. If you've sent one, I've read it. I just haven't had a chance to respond. But I got an email about SK the other day. Another person saying, you know, I've left. Thank you so much. And in it, again, it says, I did wonder what happened to the adorable Cantrell family. Well, guess what? You're going to get Cantrell updates here on Resistance Chicks, right? We're going to give those to you. So that was super fun and super cute. She says, haha, yes, 8,000. But she does agree that poor kid is being set up.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure that he's a poor kid. I don't know anything about him, this Tyler kid that they say, but 100% he is being set up.
So I need to. Oh, what are you going to play?
No. Oh, so I really don't have to play this. I'll just tell it to you. It's so creepy. It actually makes me want to throw up. Back in 2012, Erica Kirk did a music video.
Nuh-uh. I need to see it now.
It was because that TV show that she did.
Okay.
And in it, you see this number come up. Now, this is on Facebook, so I'm hoping this works. I've never tried to do a Facebook one on here. Let's see if I can still look at this number.
This is 4, and I'm deathly afraid of heights. Awkwardly, deathly mortified, afraid of heights.
This is not AI.
Really?
So what you don't see right there, that number that is too small for Leah to see, is 910.
No.
Like randomly. And then there's this hotel called the Fremont, which, you know, that's stretching, but people are linking that to the Freedom shirt that Charlie wears. So in it you see, and the guy's name's Tyler.
No.
It's so interesting. Like, what are the odds? And so in it you see this, either they're playing it again, this wedding, and then she flies through. It says 910 1010 next to it. It's creepy. I don't know. It's reaching, but it's weird at best. From what Leah was referring to is spiritual.
Yeah.
So I think that Amanda Grace actually did a video on this. I haven't watched it, but I saw the title, and essentially she's saying that there's, you know, spiritual patterns. I think that's probably a better way to address this.
Yeah.
I would like to say something that I hope doesn't offend
I see
people.
that.
It does not offend people. I think most of the time when we're trying to link conspiracy theories and blame the government or, you know, powers that be for being this all, you know, knowing hive mind, this Q stuff, whatever, when I think it's just spiritual and it's demons talking to demons and it's the devil laying things out.
I think you should play the Amanda Grace video on it. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I hadn't watched it yet, which is why I wasn't going to play it.
Yeah,
I hadn't watched the Amanda
I didn't even
Grace
know this
one.
existed. This is insane.
She says the enemy works in patterns.
This is insane. So weird. How come this didn't come up before?
I've seen it a couple of times. I just am now bringing it to everybody's attention. I don't know.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda Grace here from Ark of Grace Ministries. So it's going around on social media that Erica Kirk did a music video about 12 years ago called She's My Kind of Crazy, I guess by a group called Emerson Drive. And she zip lines through the Las Vegas night. And in the backdrop, you can see on a lit up billboard, I guess the number's 9:10, and on the other side, 10:10. So 9:10, 10:10. 9:10.
Here it goes.
And 10:10. Okay, which is exactly what Erica Kirk finds herself in after this tragedy. Now we're going to break this down for you. Las Vegas is a dry place. It's a place where there is a Trump hotel as well. It's a place of sin. It's called Sin City. It's a portal of sin. It's a portal for demons. Demons like to dwell in dry places. It's a place of deception. This is how Satan works in people's lives in their past and begins to try to align pieces in their past they may not even be aware of. And then he takes that alignment, he opens doors, he waits to connect it to another event in order to work a pattern. Now in the video, when she zip lines past this lit up billboard, one side has 9:10, the other side has 10:10. Both of these are connected, and I'll show you how. So back in December 12th, 2024, there was a school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. The school was called Abundant Life. John 10:10 says, the thief comes only in order to steal, kill, and destroy. I came that they may have and enjoy life and have it in abundance, have life and life more abundant. I had warned back then, December 2024, through February 2025, I was giving this warning that Satan was setting the agenda for 2025 as the first part of John 10:10, which is the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Now, 9/10, September 10th was the date of Charlie Kirk's tragic death. 9/10 and 10/10, okay? 9/10, right, the date that the enemy came, and 10/10, what did he do? He came to steal, kill, and destroy. 9/10, 10/10. September 10th, the enemy comes 10:10 to steal, kill, and destroy. And on 9/10, the thief would come to steal, kill, and destroy. And those dates and times, then, what happens is when there's open spiritual doors would align with what happened in Erica Kirk's past, because Satan loves to exploit someone's past. And in order for the enemy to create a pattern to accomplish destruction in people's lives, he goes and looks for open doors and for unlocked doors in their past that have not been shut, locked, blocked, and dealt with in the name of Jesus Christ. This is why it's necessary for us spiritually to close doors in our lives that are left open that the enemy can exploit, because he will go back to the past. He will try to find an open door. He will try to take that piece and align it with the stealing, killing, and destroying he wants to commit in order to work in cycles and patterns. So we have to understand this, that the enemy is trying to exploit something that was done in the past. And he took it to try to align it with now in order to create an unstable situation in the life of Erica Kirk, in the life of her children, in order to steal, kill, and destroy, and set the agenda of on 9/10, the enemy would do 10/10, which is the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
So you guys can watch the rest of that. There's only like 30 seconds left, but super interesting. Lorraine says that Amanda did do a good job of connecting some stuff. She says, my kids used to burn their work at the end of the school year too. She says, I trust none of them. My trust and hope is in God alone, and warring to see on earth as it is in heaven, waiting to see. In the meantime, wise as serpents, harmless as doves. She says, now she gives me the ick. I know she gives me the ick too. Her parents also have interesting careers. I agree. She says, hence why they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Also, the movie Snake Eyes had some interesting connections too. Amanda has words on that as well. We talked about that very briefly.
So I listen, I can say that I think that Charlie Kirk was set up, and I think that the dots keep pointing back to Erica. Like, this is weird, and I don't know what that means, like pointing back to her as it's just what I mean. It's just something very weird that now she's running it. Now I don't see her, crying. I don't see her. She's just like full steam ahead.
So pause on that, because I have a lot of people in my Facebook feed, friends, who are super upset at those of us who are questioning Erica's actions right now.
Yeah, I
Like,
get it.
how
I get
dare
it.
how dare you?
How dare I? I don't know.
Go into someone's mourning and like all this, that, and the other.
Good question.
So, under normal circumstances, no one would ever be questioning the way someone mourns.
No.
In everyday life, I don't think I've ever questioned the way that somebody is mourning a death. Most of
mourning,
the
that's the
time.
problem.
Hang on, let me finish.
No, I'm just throwing things
there are
out there.
people that what is being said is that there are people who mourn by action. Okay, they go straight to and this happens.
Get things done.
You go get things done. You clean things out. You give all their stuff away to Goodwill. Your spouse, your loved one, whatever. Like you have to stay busy, whatever. I'm not here to question. I actually am not here to question her throwing herself into TPUSA, because if there weren't other things that are causing me the ick factor with her, this was my stance originally when I wanted to believe all the things. I'm like, listen, if you loved this person so much and you knew their heart, you would try to stay close to them by staying close to the thing that they were closest to. Okay. So that's actually makes sense to me. I'm not actually questioning that aspect. The one thing in her mourning process that does seem a bit questionable is it does seem like she's spending a lot of time away from her children. And they just lost their dad. So whether you want to question, what she wants to do through mourning, that's fine. But like, you need to be there for your kids. So I'm not here stating that she's not, but it does seem like she's spending a lot of time away from her kids. Okay, whatever. But I am honestly just going by something doesn't sit right in my spirit about her. So in that, I'm now looking at the way that she's acting, and those things seem to be confirming the first thing. I've never looked into Erica Kirk before this. When I go back and I look at her previous videos, forget the mourning, and I look at her videos of her with Charlie Kirk and her interactions, and I'm looking at her age, and I'm looking at all of the, like, so much of this does not add up. The way that she's processing Charlie Kirk's death is just
is raunchy. It's raunchy. And that does not scream to me Christian conservative girl. Okay. I get that, there's a country music and there's Kelly Clarkson and what's her face? Carrie Underwood. And that's what you would think from them, right?
Yeah.
But this whole idea that she's some sort of based, super conservative person, I would think
hyper Christian.
I would think that she would come out to say, I did some things that I would not do. I'm not so proud of. It was a bit lustful. It was kind of perverted. I kissed this guy like 500 times. I don't even know. I don't recommend that. Like, I'm showing off my body in a sensual, sexual way, and I repent of that kind of like thing, right?
Yeah.
Like this whole idea that, like, I'm seeing that music video and I'm, geez, I don't want to say what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a person who uses their looks to get what they want. And actions too. And there's a word for that. And I'm not going to say it. Charlie died recently. And I feel like she's a fake Christian. I feel like she fakes it. I don't think that there's a real Christianity inside of that. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing, anything behind. And here's the thing. If that's real Christianity, I ain't it. That's not me. That wouldn't be me. And I get where she's coming from. The pride, the arrogance, the I'm awesome. I miss this. I miss that. There's like, for me, what I'm watching and I'm looking at this is like, if you're going to be Miss Arizona or whatever, you have to go above and beyond to be like super humble. if you're going to have your whole life be about, I'm in a itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. And we all know, and here's the thing, Charlie Kirk saying, I had to get rid of porn. That music video is pornography. It's pornography. Pornography is anything that is designed to induce sexual gratification.
So I want to read this comment from Kimberly because this is really good. And again, everybody wants to say you can't criticize how someone mourns. That's true to an extent. We're talking about 99% of the population here. Kimberly says, if my husband died, I would probably be in the fetal position, bawling my eyes out for a couple of months at least. I would like to utilize, thank you for that. That's helpful. I would like to utilize myself as an example here, only because on a micro scale, Kimberly addresses the married part that I don't have. I would like to address the public part that I do have, and the feeling that you have that can't be described very well, but I'm going to do the best that I can. I feel a responsibility to you guys. So if Leah died, heaven forbid, but I'm going to use this because this is important. If Leah died, someone else is I'm going to probably ask someone else to use my phone to do a video to tell you guys where I'm at, what I'm thinking. That's probably going to happen within the first few days. Okay. I'm going to ask that person to convey, because I'm not going to be able to come on camera and talk to you guys. Okay. After the first few days are over, I'm probably going to, within a couple of weeks, try to come and talk to you guys. Okay.
Could we not? I'm not.
Let me have this.
Let
me finish my thought.
Scenario.
Let me finish my thought.
I
This
don't
is
want
important.
this scenario. I don't like it.
Okay, I'm almost done. When I come to you guys, I'm not going to be able to breathe. Snot would be coming down my nose. There's going to be times where I'm not going to be able to talk on the video throughout the video. And that is going to probably be the standard if I do any videos over the next few months, which I probably would take those few months off, but I might not. I might, as my way of mourning, as my way of still trying to connect to Leah, right? I'm probably gonna do some videos. I don't know. I can't predict that. But what I can 1000% predict to you is that you're gonna see hyperventilating, tears and snot every single time I come on and do this show without Leah. Now that's a hypothetical situation. We are not seeing anything anywhere close to that. Immediately she's able to come out and laugh.
Why can't we just go, like, we don't even have to do that. Why don't we show what Diamond and Silk look like? Because that took a while. She came back, but it wasn't the same. You know, she's doing a lot in the memory of her, but you can see that she's not the same person. She's going through something. She missed, you know what I mean? And then she kept it going. And I was shocked. We were all shocked that she could keep it going.
Yeah,
right?
because she wasn't even the head of the show.
But it took a lot for her. It took time. And so I'm going to put like that aside, like you're saying, like the whole, like, I think people can talk about that. I am looking at her lifestyle of the rich and famous, of the beauty queen, of the look at me, of the narcissist. And I'm going to say, I don't like it. It's just weird to me. And so we can feel and sense that they're covering things up, and that all of a sudden, all we're supposed to focus on is TPS USA going forward.
Yeah.
But we don't even know what happened to Charlie. And there's a reason why people want to know what happened to him.
Lorraine says, exactly, Leah. I call Wolf. She says, not me either. I have a friend who tragically lost her husband the day after Charlie Kirk died. That's awful.
Wow.
And when I went to see to the funeral 4 days later, you couldn't even see her eyes because they were so swollen shut from crying.
Right.
And Kimberly says, you wouldn't say how excited you are about the future. Shauna Condi says, I think the way she has behaved is so unnatural. So, okay. These are all our own conjectures from the outside.
And we should be allowed to say them.
When you are you can say you're not allowed to judge how somebody is doing XYZ when they're a private person.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a public figure and you put yourself out there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm never going to come to you guys and say, like, how dare you judge me for XYZ? I have put my whole life in front of you. Like, you guys, you see our whole life. You're going to have questions. People are going to question public figures. That's just what we do. It's just the way that society runs, and you can't criticize people for having questions when someone acts so unnatural.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like I said, my questions go back to her leading up to even before Charlie died. Everything that she's done after Charlie died just kind of makes me go, oh, well, you know. So
yeah, I mean, Alex Jones has a video he just did 5 hours ago. Why is there no visible blood at the scene of Charlie Kirk's assassination? Former Green Beret and citizen journalist Nate Cornacchia breaks down 3 major anomalies. I guess we could pop over there real quick. I had a couple good news stories, but this is a little live reporting. Just
where
go
is
to
this
Alex
at?
Jones.
Alex Jones.
I would retweet it.
Do
but
we
I
need
can't.
this? Can I shut this down?
You can shut that down. We'll do that some other time.
Okay.
I don't even like Benny Johnson. I
Me
think he's
neither.
on the.
I think he's a pervert.
Yeah. The real act. Yeah. So scroll down.
Oh, he's live right now. That's
Scroll down to 5 hours ago. Keep going.
Okay.
He posts a
All
lot.
right.
Wait. Keep
Yeah,
going.
that's 3 hours. 3 hours. Oh, and so Tucker is questioning. Here's 5 hours ago. This one.
Yes,
and
keep
it's
going,
free.
Keep going. Right there.
Tucker's asking some kind of
He's been asking
post-millennial questions. He makes it.
Oh,
Cindy
really?
Coates shared a little clip of his. It was about Israel, but it really was more emphasis on kind of a post-mill thing, vein. And she's like, I thought she said Tucker read my book because read and read are spelled the same.
Oh, you need
she
to read
said,
my book.
Tucker, read my book. And I was like, wait, Tucker read your book? So she's like, no, Tucker, read my book.
Okay. Those of us that have know blood is everywhere, Alex. It is, I don't want to say the F word, everywhere. There would have been
blood is fucking everywhere.
Sorry.
It's fucking everywhere.
Sorry.
Buddy's hands. It would have been over all of their shirts, pants, especially an artery shot like that. It's not possible that just no one has any blood on even their hands. So to me, what I want to know now is, you know why I was very suspicious about why we're not getting this high fidelity camera footage from right behind Charlie Kirk. And now I want to know, show me that footage. Because that footage is going to show me exactly what you're doing to treating Charlie Kirk. And I think, again, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Alex, I think, I've been on your show enough times that you would agree I'm very level headed with this stuff. Tell me why, Turning Point, no one treated Charlie Kirk. No one tried to stop the bleeding. You can see it right here. No blood on anyone's hands. Weird things being passed off. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. So I'm not willing to say this is nefarious, but I am willing to say nobody tried to save his life. I'm 100% confident in that. I can watch it right here in front of me. And then the question is why? Why is nobody, Alex, when you're talking about a carotid artery injury, what I'm doing immediately when I roll up on somebody and they've got an arterial wound, I'm burying my hands inside of that wound before. Nobody's taking a shirt off. Nobody's getting gauze. Like, you don't have gauze? Get a shirt off. Give me some clothes. I need to pack that wound.
And by the way, even low-level, not very well-trained security knows to jam gauze or clothing into a wound.
Or at least your thumb. Get your thumbs down in there and actually stop the bleeding if you can until you can get somebody to bring you help. But I can tell you, I watched this clip, none of that was done. So are these guys, they just had no trauma medicine experience? None of these guys that are his personal security have ever done trauma medicine? I teach trauma medicine courses, Alex. And this is just not.
But let's look at the body language of these guys. Their faces. I mean, I would show more concern flipping an omelet to make sure I didn't burn it. I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm watching body language. They look like it's funny.
I'm not ready to go down the rabbit hole of these guys were in on it, but I can tell you at an absolute minimum, I see massive negligence or incompetence at a minimum. Everybody who says he's got it in his jeans, oh, it's not in his jeans, it's up his back. right? Okay. Well, we can see every angle in high fidelity. There's no rifle in his jeans.
You couldn't
here.
even
His
put
knees
the
are completely
barrel
bent.
broke down in there to
But
be
look at his
sticking
back.
out.
Look at his back. There's no giant 30-06 barrel, or not barrel, excuse me, buttstock coming up the back of his neck. As far as I can see, we played this a few times. He has no rifle at all. Even this tiny little backpack, I'm not sure could even fit a broken down.
You couldn't even put a compact
AR-15.
M4 in that backpack.
I don't think so. So anybody who wants to tell me it's a broken down 30-06, I mean, I got one right here. I want to talk about this too. This is a 22 to 24 inch barrel. That's 2 feet. The barrel, even broken down, isn't fitting in that backpack. So where's his rifle, Alex? Unless that's not unless this is not footage of him, or it's not footage of him going to the roof, but the FBI tells us it is. There is no rifle in his pants. There's no rifle up his back. We can very clearly see there's no rifle here, right? Are we in agreement on that?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in agreement on that. So it has to be in his backpack. A 30-06 broken down is not fitting in that backpack.
But even the butt wouldn't fit in there.
No. So where is this rifle? How did he get the rifle to the roof? Alex, let's think about this. If you go back to the very first frame of this security camera has eyes on where he would have taken the shot from. Boom. That where you can see it in the far left corner.
Why aren't we getting the tape before this?
Why does the tape start when he's running? Why don't you show? You could show me him shooting.
Well, that goes to
from
the
that
larger
platform.
issue. There's ring cameras. There's cameras everywhere. Why do we have such limited stuff right in the middle of a major city?
The government fears Alex Jones.
I don't even know what
I
to do.
I could sit there and watch the whole rest of that. I probably will tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Man,
like, why do they have to? Why? Who killed him? This is the whole point. Who killed him? Who killed him and how and why? Who killed him?
So
It's got to be Israel. It's got to be that little handgun. It's got to be the whole security guard had to be in on it. They had to be like, you know what? Don't pick him up. Don't do it. We need him to die. We need him to bleed out. Keep him down here until we have confirmed him dead.
So, I don't want to put on airs and say, I've ever been in super intense situations like that, because I have not. I'm not that person that's going to come on and say, well, I've been through this and I've been through that. Okay. But I think actually what I am about to say almost proves it a little bit better. And that is this. We live, and you guys saw the other day, this super terrible accident that happened right outside of our house. Leah showed you guys the footage afterwards of that corner. That corner is so dangerous that in the 20 years, or so that we have lived here, we've probably seen 25 wrecks there. It happens twice a year minimum, that we are home for, that we see.
We hear bang.
Every time you can hear it, and your heart races and drops. The worst one that we did see was actually just behind us. Okay. It was right across the street. And this girl literally wrapped her car around a telephone pole. And when I walked out and saw it, because I ran out, I was out there within seconds. I think, the first person to her.
You thought she was going to be
I
dead.
thought she was dead. I looked at that wreck and I thought, I'm about to come upon a dead person, or someone that is dying, someone that has maybe severed limbs, maybe the crushed skull, whatever, you name it. Like, I'm ready. I started praying in the spirit. I started speaking in tongues. I'm stealing myself. You do not. And when that happens to you, everything in you wants to not go over there, because you do not want to see whatever it is that you are about to see. Your gut just falls. Okay. Miraculously, she walked away. I believe, I have no problem saying this, is because the angels that are around our house.
Miracles.
They were right
miracles,
there.
Miracles,
okay?
Miracles.
Miracles. But when I walked over there, the concern, I didn't have my face recorded.
There's
but
nothing
if you could have
on
been
those guys' faces.
those guys' faces.
They had no concern.
That one guy actually has a smile on his face.
Like, we did it. Like, it worked.
Do you know how hard it is actually to hide a smile? Smiles are probably the most difficult. Joy and laughter, when it's not supposed to be there, I would say is probably one of the most difficult. Leah's watching it on replay.
That's a smile. That is a smile.
I don't know if I could play that again.
That's sick. Like, that's a real smile.
Let me go back to this. I'm going to mute this so that I can play this. This guy right here, is it this guy or a different guy?
No.
It's a different guy?
Yeah, it's before that.
Is it before that?
Right before that.
Has a smile on his face. I'm going to let that play. You can't hide joy and like when you, I have tried to.
Oh, it's
like,
at minute 7:30.
Oh, well, they just keep playing it again and again. We weren't at minute 7. Okay, so here we go.
There
Look,
is-
that's this. There it was. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit again. I want you guys to see this again.
Mhm.
Watch it again. Watch this guy that kneels down. Wait. There.
Now it can be a it could be a kind of looks like a smile, but it's kind of like a but something like, where is the blood? That's a really good question. Kind of looks like a smile though.
It definitely looks like a. I'm so sorry.
You know what I don't normally see? You know what I'm not seeing here is like in all these trauma situations, somebody's
Even that guy looks like he's smiling.
somebody's
Even
going.
that guy. All 3 of these guys in this specific shot look like they have. Like
the
if
other
you didn't
two
know
look a
what this
little
was,
serious, but yeah,
if you didn't know what this was, you might think that they were all looking at something funny. If that was the only screenshot that you saw, you had no context of what this was at all. You would be looking at the guy and you show this picture to anybody. You show this picture to anybody out there. You're going to say, what do you think is happening? Do you think they are serious? Do you think they're scared? Do you think they're anxious? Do you think they're worried? Do you think they're happy? Do you think they're laughing?
And then there's the handoff at minute 7:44.
Yeah, well, that keeps that they've played that several times. What in the world is that handoff? What is that?
So
is
anybody who
that?
can do a handoff like that has had trauma training.
Trauma?
He's saying unless they didn't have trauma training. They wouldn't have to pack the wound.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Let me go over. I know the comments are probably lit up here. Lorraine says it literally looks like they're laughing and so pleased. Oh, hey, Corey. So Corey's in the chat now. What's up, Corey Gray? So Corey actually has what I believe is the most plausible theory of them all. You guys have seen us play Corey's video on this show. This guy literally, I'm going to use my lip gloss and it literally looks like he's holding something like this. Okay. And he's literally got his hands super close to his chest. You play the clip, boom. It looks like he has a little bit of a recoil and you see, I mean, there's like a motion and you see this puff of smoke. Corey does a phenomenal job of breaking that down. I can't recommend that enough. That's my humble opinion.
And then the question is who, what, where, when, why, how, and everybody's silent and people not questioning it have to be in on it. You know?
Yeah. So Christine says, and why isn't his wife talking about this? Why is she not questioning all of this, knowing how shady it all is? She should be fighting back, saying something isn't right. She says, I would be so angry and completely stirring things up, fighting for my husband's death. Thank you.
So go to minute,
on the screen share?
15:30. We've talked about this before. We went shooting at our friend Catherine's house with and
I don't want to see that shot again.
I don't want to shoot the gun again.
We're not gun people. Like we use them. We know how to use them. I think we know how to use them fairly well. I'm not a fan.
I was shook to the core.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking to myself, that is why people were maimed in World War II. I don't want to ever be around somebody shooting a gun like that. I feel like it's a bomb.
Yeah.
Doesn't think this whole thing doesn't make sense.
So I saw a poll that I think it was 88%. And this was it had tens of thousands of, I forget where it was, tens of thousands of votes. Who believes the official narrative? And it was like 88% of average Americans don't believe it. I can't point to a single person I know that is just like, yep, FBI story, that checks out. I wanted to debunk some of the 30-06 sort of people have been trying to say, well, maybe it was a soft tip round or maybe it was a low grain load.
We're talking about Charlie Kirk's steel neck debunked with our 30-06 ballistics test. Yeah, go ahead and introduce it.
Yeah, so we did a ballistic test where we just used a regular 30-06 round with, I think it was 160 grain, 170 grain, pretty average round. I mean, we shot cow femurs wrapped in beef. It just exploded everything. It shot through up to half-inch steel, no problem. I mean, nothing came close. And again, my buddy Brian here is a precision rifle competition shooter, and he made a joke at the start. We had everything on the tailgate, and I asked him, what's going to stop a 30-06 round? And he said, nothing, including this tailgate, which is true. But I've heard people have said, oh, well, it was a soft tip round. Well, you know, as a guy like me who just happens to have all these things, I've got a soft tip round here, Alex. I'm sure you as a hunter know. People say, oh, it's a soft tips round. A soft tip round, guys, is actually designed. It doesn't have copper on the end. It's designed to mushroom faster to create even more damage and an even bigger exit wound faster. So the people who are saying, oh, it was a soft
exactly,
tip
that
round,
would have blown
no,
his neck probably 80% off.
Yeah, a soft tip round would have decapitated Charlie in front of everybody. So that's a little silly. Now, and I'm also hearing, Alex, I'm sure you might be hearing this. Oh, well, it was a low grain load. Let me talk about that. Let's talk about a low grain load. Let's say, let's knock off 1,000 feet per second, just to make it obnoxious here, right? That's how low of a grain load we did on this reload. We're dropping from, on average, 2,500 feet per second to 1,500 feet per second. Okay, well, let's talk about a 9mm round, Alex. 9mm rounds moving at about 1,000 feet per second. And why do we use hollow point rounds? Why do police use hollow point rounds in a pistol that's
for
shooting
more knockdown power?
That, but also because it's going to punch through. And you want that hollow point round to fragment so it doesn't punch through and kill innocent civilians. So when we're talking about, let's say you drop 1,000 feet per second off this 30-06 round, it's still moving at, let's say, 1,500 feet per second. The round is 3 times bigger than a 9mm round. So if a 9mm round is going to punch through most humans, what do you think a 30-06 round is going to do at even just 1,500? It's going to blow through his neck like butter. It's not going to make any difference. So all the people, and then there's also the angle. Okay, this is what I want to debunk too. Oh, it was a 9-degree slope. Let me look at this. This is Charlie sitting straight up. This is a 9-degree slope, as-ish, we would say. As the round comes in and hits his neck, people want to say, oh, then it refracted straight down at an 81-degree angle into his spine. That's not how Newtonian physics works. It's not how ballistics works. If it hits, even if it hits something very hard, it's going to hit his vertebrae, which is not hard. It's going to barely change the angle. It'll refract it down a little bit. So Charlie would have had to been shot at an extreme angle for that to actually make sense.
Absolutely. That round's so powerful, I bet it wouldn't even deflect any at that range.
I mean, maybe a couple degrees, Alex, but it's not refracting 81 degrees straight into the ground. That's not how Newtonian physics works. So if your argument breaks the laws of Newtonian physics, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, I agree. So this whole thing's disintegrating. And then moving on, Tyler does not have a rifle with him when he walks on the roof.
Yeah,
I've seen the video. Let's play that. This is really proof that we're being lied to right here.
So I want to look at, when we look at this, everybody who says he's got it in his jeans, oh, it's not in his jeans.
We played that. They talked about that earlier. We're not going to play the whole thing. You want to play the whole thing?
Just keep playing it, I
It's
guess.
up his back, right? Okay. Well, we can see every angle in high fidelity. There's no rifle in his jeans.
You couldn't even put the barrel
bent.
broke down in there to be sticking out.
Look at his back. There's no giant 30-06 barrel, or not barrel, excuse me, buttstock coming up the back of his neck. As far as I can see, we played this a few times. He has no rifle at all. Even this tiny little backpack, I'm not sure could even fit a broken down.
You couldn't even put a compact M4 in that backpack.
Okay.
They
Okay.
played that at the beginning.
All right, guys. So put your theories in the chat. We will continue to talk about them, but I do want to leave with.
Well, so they've already put their theories in the chat. So Samuel says a 30-06 is a huge round. I have deer hunted with one and seen what it does to a deer. I doubt a caliber that big was used. Question is, haven't they found the bullet to know for sure?
They said it was fragmented and it's left in his body and buried in
they
his
say
body.
that his body stopped the bullet and his body obliterated the bullet.
And so, like, you couldn't even. There's no bullet to.
Kim says no one is looking around or yelling for anyone to come help. So, again, back to how all humans react. You got all those dudes there. I think we see like 5 different guys in that specific shot.
Get me this. Get me that. You're gonna.
Your face is gonna be. This is gonna be your face.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Like that. Like that's gonna be every human being's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are not
Somebody's gonna
so highly trained
to be that calm.
To be that calm, to be almost smiling.
We've seen all the military movies, right? If somebody is shot like that and dead, people are yelling at each other.
Chris says they are acting like they're doing something important. Shauna says, yeah, they don't look concerned at all.
They're looking.
Lorraine says, through beef, y'all. My deer husband brings home. My deer that my husband brings home. The deer that my husband brings home are a mess after a rifle shot, like a regular rifle shot. I have watched these videos of these guys shooting these 30-06s. It blows everything. You have an ant in your hair. To smithereens.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
Like, this is
We
nobody's.
would have seen a head decapitation is what we would have seen if it was a 30-06. So tell me what gun it really was.
It's the lip gloss gun that the guy is holding,
Right.
like this.
And that's the exit wound.
That's what I'm saying. It's the only plausible thing. Corey Gray's thing is the only. I'm sorry. It's the only one that actually that I have heard that makes the most sense. Now, again, everybody wants to. I already told you guys my opinion on the shirt flying up. Everybody thinks it's this metal plate that he's wearing. When I wear these earbuds all the time, in the video that the guy showed how he pulls his to the front of his shirt the same way, makes all the sense in the world to me. Like, because I literally, before I left, I braided my hair before I came downstairs. I grabbed a hair clip so that I could pin and clip my earbud to my hair to keep it tight and out of the way, because it's super annoying.
Okay, I want to end with a couple good news things. I would need to do a whole story on this. So there's been a couple of these going around, healing for autism.
Oh, wow.
So this woman has gone to every doctor, every agency. No one could help her son. Then she heard about RFK Jr. and Trump supercharging research on autism. And there's a new medicine called Leucovorin. And her son's been on it for 3 weeks now. And he is saying 2 to 3 word phrases. And he is blossoming.
Wow.
He went from saying about 11 words. And there's 2 moms that are saying this now.
Hey TikTok, my name is Cassie Hudgens, and I wanted to make this channel to share my family's experience with Leucovorin. So my son just turned 3 this September, and up until recently, he has only had since about 18 months. We started noticing the delay in speech. He went to speech therapy twice a week and was really getting all the help from every avenue. We've contacted through RISP, things like that, other agencies to get him help, and there was just nothing that was working. I came across Leucovorin on TikTok from other moms that were sharing their story, and I talked to a pediatrician, and I actually switched pediatricians, and this doctor that we have now is an absolute blessing. And she did research on her own when I mentioned Leucovorin, and she wrote the prescription. And he's been on it for about 3 weeks now. And like I said, he went from about 11 words to now the past week he's saying about 2 to 3 word phrases. And he's like blossoming, he's coming out of a shell, and the speech is just rolling. And it's pretty much he's saying a new word about every other day. So we are really blessed with that. But like I said, I just wanted to make this channel to go more in depth.
Then there's one more mom here. She has a nonverbal autistic son to the right of it. And she's been watching RFK
What
Jr.
is the
Leucovorin?
drug?
Leucovorin.
We don't. I mean, obviously it's big pharma drug.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me skeptical just because of that. That's all.
Mm-hmm. There's a Facebook group that's growing fast, and there are stories and stories of how
Leucovorin for the first time. In case you haven't been paying attention, that was the other drug that was mentioned when they were talking about this Tylenol fiasco, which put a pin in that. We really should be talking about Leucovorin. My son is 5 years old and he's nonverbal, low-functioning autistic. He wasn't always this way though. Up until about 1.5 years, 2 years old, my son knew words, a lot of words. He couldn't say sentences, but he could say 1 or 2 words put together. And then there was an incident that I'm not allowed to speak of because of TikTok regulations. They took down the video that I tried to talk about what had happened in there, but you put the 2 together. Right after that, he just had a steep decline in language, and it halted, and he hadn't spoken since. He's been on this medication for less than 48 hours, and my son just spoke for the first time.
Wow.
My nonverbal son just spoke for the first time in over 3 years. Every day I've been praying for an answer, praying for my son to be healed. And all this time, we've just had Leucovorin sitting on the shelves. I'm telling you right now, if your child is nonverbal, if you are the parent of a nonverbal autistic child, get them on Leucovorin as soon as you possibly can, because this is the answer that we have all been praying for.
Wow.
Our son's autistic speech was erased in 18 months. He now uses full sentences thanks to this drug. So it's worth looking into. They're thinking it could help between 50 and 60 percent of these kids. So I'm not for big pharma, but if you're there, you need,
Well, okay, so you're already at autistic. You're
Mhm.
already at nonverbal autistic.
Yeah.
At that, what's
Mhm.
I don't know. I hate to say what can you lose, because you can lose your child. Like
Mhm.
I don't trust big pharma at all. But I would say pray about it for sure.
Sure. And I have a little news conference from our favorite little sheriff in Florida. It's a warning to all of you to not get prostitutes.
Oh dear God,
Mm-hmm.
Leah.
Yeah.
There's things in life you just can't believe. So you order up a prostitute, right?
Like a Big
This
Mac.
prostitute lives with his mother, by the way. He's
a
got a
male
massive
prostitute?
criminal history, a 21-year criminal history with 31 criminal charges. So you order up a prostitute, and that's what you think you're getting.
Oh dear God.
Now, when you look at that, you go, wow, that's pretty rough, but, any port in a storm. And then the next morning when
There's
you
a
wake
police
up,
officer in the back that can't keep.
you find out this is who it really is. Yeah, we call that coyote ugly. You see, he's laying on your arm in bed. You go, well, it was rough last night, but I've sobered up. I think I'll just chew my arm off and ease away so I don't disturb him or wake him up. All right, so you think you're buying this, you're getting this. He's got 31 criminal charges, and heck, if you're lucky, he doesn't kill you overnight.
There was more.
What did I just watch? Who is that guy?
He's one of those.
He's based.
Yeah, he's one.
He said you might chew your arm off.
Yeah,
and try to slip away.
His name is Sheriff Grady Judd.
What county is he sheriff of?
And he, I know you can't scroll down.
I can't over here and grab it. Is this it? Is this it?
No. Scroll down. Keep going. I think there. No. It's the next.
This
keep
one?
going.
Any port in a storm? That guy. They're all just redoing that guy.
No, back up. I think I missed it. It's the don't skip.
Right here.
Yeah. Sheriff
Grady Judd
is
his name.
Yeah.
Say his name. And support him. Does he have his own TikTok or Instagram? Because he's funny. I think he should have been a stand-up comedian.
How about Jason Bathis from 43 from Davenport?
Hang on, there's
This
more?
is our human trafficking and prostitution, folks.
Leah.
He's charged with offering to commit. This is in Bathis, okay? This is what you really get when the makeup comes off.
Stop it.
This is Jason Bathis. Now I want you to think about this a minute, okay? You decide that you're going to hook up with a woman. She comes in, and she's already uglier than a mud fence.
Leah?
Right? And then, as you start to engage, you find out, hey, this dudette is a dude, and look what he really looks like. Yeah, he looks like he should have been in a Scarface movie someplace. I don't know. This is what's happening. People think they're getting this, and many times they're getting a really bad guy. So this is the before and after, When you find them in the bar at night, you try to drink them pretty, and you wake up the next morning and you see this. Yeah, that's what we call Rolex ugly.
Leah.
Rolex ugly is you wake up the next morning and they're laying on your arm and your Rolex is there and you just chew your arm off and leave the Rolex. You just got to get out of there.
So where does he come
So
up
you
with
can
all
go
of
to
these colloquialisms?
put in his name is
Grady Judd.
His name is Sheriff Grady Judd, and his latest one is he is wearing. Scroll down. Keep going. This one. Oh no. Keep going. This one.
Leah.
He literally rolls up
No.
to a press conference with a $50,000 gold chain.
Leah.
He got from a drug addict.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do shows like this?
Judge Judy.
I don't even want to talk about anything else than this. This is all I want to talk about.
Well, I think he's teaching young men to not order a prostitute. It's a bad idea, right? Just a bad idea. This is on Fox.
I got the drip. I got the body. The first-degree murder from overdose. Troy Walker
Leah
is the person that sold the drugs to our 65-year-old victim. She bought these drugs on a Saturday night. She took some of these drugs, and on Sunday morning, she was walking out of her house to church when she collapsed.
Oh dear.
So she died so Nate could have this drip. Did you hear what I said? He's buying this drip from selling drugs to people on the streets.
So for the podcast listeners and everyone that has no idea about
What a
anything
drip
from
is.
the street he's referring to that gold necklace as a drip.
Yeah.
What does this thug life sheriff know about drips? Who is he, a plumber?
So over here, Ron DeSantis, more good news. I gotta end this show, but this is Ron DeSantis is getting rid of property taxes. And what I love here is he's saying there is waste, especially on the salaries of the staff. Some of the county administrators make $280 to $300 a year.
What?
Well, ours makes like $200 a year. Over 200.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's important. We have to get the best of the best.
No,
you don't. You push. You literally go to people's houses and make sure that their lawns are mowed. You deserve $2 an hour. And you know what? Negative. You should pay me to have that role.
Corey knows what's up. Corey, you missed our whole thing that we were talking about your theory. He says draped up and dripped out. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Nobody knows thug Corey. Oh my gosh. The rest of us normies don't know these things.
Tax. We don't administer property tax. It's a local function. We need to deal with it through a ballot initiative, which we are working on and we'll put on the ballot in 26. So you'll have an opportunity to vote. But my vision is, if a local government, wants to tax the commercial stuff, they want to tax snowbird properties, Airbnbs, whatever, that's one thing. But your personal residence, as a homesteaded Floridian, we want you to own that tax-free.
Come on.
That'd be tremendous if we were able to do that. Now, to get there,
it's like justice straight into my veins.
To get there, people are going to say, well, if you now what some people are saying is saying like, if you eliminated everything on everything, like, look, if I were starting society from scratch, I would not tax property. I would tax consumption, but that we're not there. So we got to work with what we do. How do we get Floridians, this protection and this relief? And so you look at the local governments, what has been fueling the increased spending has been the rising receipts. Now, some places raise the millage. Some places just leave the millage alone. But the problem with leaving it alone is people are paying more as a result of that because they're valuing it higher. It's like an unrealized gain. It's one thing if I buy something at the store and you pay sales tax, okay, then I buy the same thing 2 months from now, and if the price of that good went up, then maybe I have to pay a little higher. But these aren't transactions. They're just telling you your property's worth so much more. And what goes up does go down, by the way. There are a lot of people that had high valuations in Florida in 2007. Then you fast forward a couple years, 2010, those valuations weren't as good. And so these things just happen. But one of the things I think we've seen is a big explosion in spending at the local level.
Mm-hmm.
So we can cut it up there. That's enough. You could
please,
sit there and listen all day.
Lord Jesus, in Ohio, please, 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 please. Sad story. I think I want to end with this.
We want to end with a sad story.
Well, it's a story about justice.
Okay.
There was a man who broke into this man's Kentucky home and he stabbed his 6-year-old boy to death. And he has been released after serving just half his sentence. And the boy's father, his life was completely over, basically. He couldn't function. He is so upset. This Exantis was sentenced to 20 years in 2018 after being found not guilty by reason of insanity for murder, but mentally ill on assault charges. And now he has been released.
Oh, man.
And this was a random, brutal murder of a little child.
No.
And he should be forever behind bars. I don't see why you would only get 20 years for the murder of a 6-year-old. Like but he's good behavior and mentally ill. So you're going to put a mentally ill person. We see what happens when you put these mentally ill murderers back on the streets. You cannot put we need mental asylums. You cannot put a mentally ill person who killed somebody back on the streets. They will kill again.
He stood up with me on top of him. Just stood up and threw me 10, 15 feet across the room.
With no reason.
Went after her.
Dean Tipton says December 7th, 2015 is a night that changed his life. He says his children woke him up. He then found a man attacking his children.
And when I got to the top of the stairs, he attacked me. He come at me with the knife.
The night took a tragic turn with the loss of a life, his 6-year-old son, Logan. Dean says immediately after Logan's death, he lost his will to live.
I laid in bed. I gave up. I gave up on life. I gave up on my family. I gave up on everybody. I just wanted to die.
In the years since, the family has done their best to cope, but mentions they are mentally and emotionally scarred. And they are hurt that Ronald Exantis will no longer be behind bars.
Everybody deserves a fighting chance to have justice for them, and it's not.
I've had my talks with God, because I'm not afraid to tell you all. I told the court, if I ever cross paths with him, I will kill the man. I will kill him where he stands.
He shouldn't have to say that, because he should have gotten the death penalty, and we shouldn't be looking at this man's face. He shouldn't have to say that. And that right there is the man who loved his kid. So let's pray for him.
Amen.
God, I lift up this family. I ask you that you bring healing.
Come on.
I know
Justice.
that Logan cannot come back from the dead, but you can bring back his memory and bring justice to the situation. And I pray, Father God, for this so-called justice system that we have that, locks up innocent people and lets the wicked go free. And I just pray, Father God, that you would revamp this whole, we talked about it here, the model penal code. That's where we're at. It goes back to Alfred Kinsey and the model penal code. You want to know why this little boy is not getting justice? Is because of Alfred Kinsey, and he went from state to state and changed the model penal code. So I ask you that you wake up everybody's eyes. I ask you that you undo all these laws and these rules and these regulations that do, as we talk about it, these are laws that were changed, and they took away, I think, over 60 protections for women and children. And I pray, Father God, that you would convict the hearts of men and women who are making laws, and they would go back and they would, each state by state would go back and they would raise the penalties for these crimes, especially against children and women and children, and the weakest in society. And I pray that you bring healing to this family. I pray, Father God, that you show us what happened with Charlie Kirk, and if there were nefarious people behind that. God, we can only do what we can do. Without you revealing the truth, the enemy is going to keep it under wraps. So, Father God, we ask you that you expose those who killed Charlie and expose those who are covering it up. And I ask you, Father God, if there are evil actors behind Turning Point, if there are people, if there's anybody there who's in it for the money, I ask you that you expose them, that you bring it down. The same thing with our government. If there are people in it for the money, and you all know that it's pretty much everybody, so let's just not pretend and play games. I ask you that you expose everybody who is in this government system for money and for taking advantage of people. I ask, Father God, that this would be the year that you would expose politicians. You would expose the rogue government agencies that have been taking advantage of good, liberty-minded people. And I pray, Father God, that you would raise up a remnant who are protected by you, who are held in safety by you, who are surrounded by your angels, who are allowed to speak when they need to speak. And if you want my Twitter back, then you just bring it back. But if you don't want me on there to be having conversations with those, Babylonian sodomites, I just pray that you would open doors for us to be able to speak the truth to the right people at the right time, and that your message gets out there no matter what, no matter who gets to see it. I thank you for my brother Corey in the chat. I thank you for the Cantrells. I thank you, Father God, for everybody here who is on a mission to get the truth out. And I ask you that you bless them, bless their voices, provide for them, take care of them, open doors no man can shut, shut doors no man can open. And I thank you, Father God, that you're going to set us free from this, this rat wheel that we seem to be on. And we're all going to get farms. We're all going to get horses. We're all going to just wake up every day with that sun shining and just watch that sunset. We're going to be healthy, body, mind, and spirit. You're healing up hormones. You're healing up crooked feet, eyes that need to be healed, all the different,
Desiree's
prayer
left
requests.
eye.
That's what I'm talking. Yeah.
Amen.
All the different prayer requests we've gotten recently for everybody who needs a healing in their family right now, for those who responded to Michelle sharing on my post, who are just overwhelmed by all the things that you would just take the burden, the historic burden, you would heal their fractured soul, their mind, you'd go back to their past and make it so that when the things come and the tides come and everything comes, they're ready to handle it, because they know that that you've already handled everything back behind them, that you can handle everything moving forward. I thank you for good news. I speak life over everybody. I speak life over my own family. I plead the blood of Jesus over my own family. We're all going to take a moment and just put the helmet of salvation on yourself and on every member of your family. Put on the breastplate of righteousness on yourself and every member of your family. Take the sword of the Spirit for yourself and every member of the family. Put on the shoes of the peace, the gospel peace for yourself and your whole family. Put on the belt of truth for yourself and your whole family, and the shield of faith for yourself and your whole family. Just thank you, Father God, that we are walking forward, that we are not afraid. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power of love and a sound mind. We speak to every storm, peace be still. I thank you, Father God, that even as my mom goes to the market tomorrow, that she sells all those great peppers and vegetables and makes new friends, and every word out of her mouth is led by the Holy Spirit. She's surrounded by angels there and back. I thank you, Father God, for taking care of all of us to get us where we need to go, surrounded by your angels, and that you are healing families, you're healing minds and bodies, and you're putting people onto farms where they can live that peaceful life, and you're teaching them how to do it, because that's half the battle. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And it is important for me, for you guys, to know that we do pray for you and we think about you. You guys are on our heart, and we understand that, like I said, I think it was on the Healing for the Fractured Soul, or maybe Revelation Red Pill this week. And I'm like, listen, we go through stuff, but when we go through stuff, I'm reminded that you guys go through stuff. And so I want you guys to know that we are praying for you guys as well. So I want to play.
This is my buddy, Toby.
There's Toby. That's awesome.
He's heavier than he looks. Are you a lap doggy?
This is.
I love you. I love you.
He's been waiting.
You've been waiting for the show to be over.
He likes to go to sleep.
He does like to go to sleep. He's an early to bed kind of guy. His dad gets up at like 4 a.m.
He's so heavy.
He's ready to stay there. He doesn't even care. He's and you're going to lift up Bailey too. No, she's ready.
Bailey weighs like so much more.
So you guys know that we've been following Coalition Reloaded. And they are so excited, and I'm excited for them. They have put out their first album, How I Survived the End of the World. Now, there's like 50 songs on coalitionreloaded.com if you click on the music, but they've put together an album, and I think that the songs that they chose, they're not like the main songs per se, because the victim and survivors and all of that. Those songs actually aren't on this album. I was super excited to see what they put on there. And of course they put my favorite song, which is Sound Mind, on there. But I want to go here with you guys. We'll do a song to sign off here tonight from their album. But
now I got to put my earbuds back
the
in.
place to find the album is over on, oh, shoot. Okay, no, it's fine. I can play it, but I can't screen share the Spotify. So on Spotify, it's literally, if you just put up How I Survived the End of the World, it'll show up. Just look up Coalition Reloaded, and there's 13 songs over there. So I can't screen share it, but I can audio share it. So you guys will hear the audio.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide which song I want to play.
Why not?
Well, let's just go with How I Survived the End of the World. We'll go with that one. Oh wait, no, that's the album. Hang on. It should have just played it. Hang on one second. I'm figuring out Spotify.
I stepped through the cathedral doors of St. Mary's, hoping to find a home for my soul. Candles flicker like promises, but the walls whispered of gold and control. I learned prayers could be heavy chains, and smiles could hide the storm. Survive the end of the world through whispered storms and streets of gold. grew with every hand I held. How I survived the end of the world through whispers, storms, and streets of gold. I carried light where shadows fall, heard the lost ones' hearts call. And when the clouds finally open wide, I'll rise with every soul he's walked beside. It's in persecution. In the market squares of Cairo, they try to silence me. Shadows chasing my name through narrow streets. My hands were empty, my pockets stolen, but a whisper higher than fear kept me moving. I walked through fires and silence, and the wind brought songs I had never sung. How I survived the end of the world through whispers, storms, and streets of gold. I carried light where shadows fall, heard the lost ones' hearts call. And when the clouds finally open wide, I'll rise with every soul he's walked beside. I stand on the hill above, picture it dust clouds part like curtains on a stage behind me. Faces I've led to the light, follow the path where his grace never fades. And in the sky, a crown of gold descends, the world trembling in beauty, every soul away. How I survived the end of the world through whispers, storms, and streets of gold. I carry light where shadows fall, heard the lost ones' hearts call. And when the clouds finally open wide, I'll rise with every soul he's walked beside. I survived. I survived. By his mercy, I'm alive. Yes, I survived the end of the world. How I survived the end of the
Okay, that was so good. Like I did listen to that one earlier this afternoon. There's so many that I have not gotten through all of them. It's gonna play another one on me, which you can go and listen to it in order. Glenda says I listened to it earlier today. So good. Let's see. Do you have a dog or just clients' dogs? No. So our dogs passed away in 2018, and we said we were going to get more dogs, and then we just started doing more clients' dogs. She says, have you seen the Candace Owens is telling people to pull their kids out of the public and private schools and homeschool? Praise God. Awesome. Yes, I did see your email, Glenda, and I tried to get to it earlier today and I couldn't. My website wasn't. It's going to get fixed 1000%, whatever I have to do. She says their website has links too. So coalitionreloaded.com, or just go to Spotify and put Coalition Reloaded in there and find the album How I Survived the End of the World. Love that song. I'm listening to all the songs on just kind of run and repeat. There are some that really, really, really hit hard. And I actually had a really cool confirmation. I shared this with Randall and Desiree in a message like last night or the night before. We're selling our Jeep. We call her Peaches. She's called Peaches because Georgia peaches are a little bit lumpy and rough on the outside, but on the inside, they're super sweet. And California peaches look perfect on the outside, but on the inside, they're not sweet at all. So when we got her, we called her Peaches. We've always called her a Georgia Peaches. And so I was out there pressure washing at night with my over-ear headphones on. And, this was just last night, right? And I'm cleaning off, I'm pressure washing the upholstery because you can do that. You can pull the rugs out of a Jeep and to get them clean to be able to sell them. And I was just processing, I felt like the Lord was saying, this is the end of a chapter. I started to cry. I'm getting like sad over my thing. And then literally as I'm thinking this and processing this, I hear a lyric in their song that says Georgia Peach. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. So thanks, Lord. So that was awesome. So please go and support all that they're doing, all the music over there. The best place to follow Coalition Reloaded is on Facebook and their website, but their Facebook is constantly posting all of the new songs, which is awesome, and you can interact with them over there. So we are going to get Desiree and Randall on our show at some point, but right now we just need to pray for Desiree's healing because she has, shingles on her face. And praying for her left eye there. So she says, Kira and I listened to them on our way to Dayton this morning. That's awesome. That makes me happy. Okay, so for any advertisement for the end of today's show.
I got my healing for the soul right here.
Leah has the healing for this. I was actually going to ask for that. I saw it sitting there for the show. I wanted to put it on.
No, you want to put it on?
That's nice. Yeah, of course I want to put it on. I say this to people all the time. You know what I think it's like? So I've never been in love that in any kind of real sense, I suppose. But I've never been married. This is what I would imagine that marriage is like. You know it. You love it. But every time you interact with it, it's like it's the first time and you're surprised.
I feel that way.
I love it again and again. Like every time I use it, it's like
balancer,
I love it again.
I know it's
again.
good for me and it smells amazing. So yeah,
I'm seriously surprised every time I put it on. Like, man, I love this so much. I would imagine that that's what it would be like to have a spouse that you genuinely love. I wish I felt that way about you.
You don't have to feel that way about me.
I'm so sorry though. The Lord's going to heal me and I will feel that way about Leah. But there are times that I feel that way, but maybe not every time I look at you. But it is how I feel about the healing for the soul. If you would like to buy any of our products, I did just cut more soap today. So if you want to get our amazing soap that everyone loves,
Toby's on my foot.
That's adorable.
That's what I'm trying to take a picture of.
I just cut, so that this soap that I've just cut today won't be ready, but we have plenty that is ready. But I'm hoping we have enough to go through Christmas. It takes 6 to 8 weeks for the soap to actually cure. So I was telling Lee, I was like, I think if you make 2 more batches, we should be able to make it through Christmas. But it's hard. These are hard for Leah to make, but the soap is amazing. So if I wanted to advertise for anything, it would be the soap. It smells so good. Just love, love, love it. You can be used as a shaving soap for your legs. Men use it for their faces. I have people that buy soap in bulk, which I find very interesting. I think and then they keep buying the soap. I'm like, are you giving this away? I would love to know if you guys buy my soap. Listen to me. It's not mine, it's Leah's. If you guys buy our soap in bulk, please leave me a note. Like, just inquiring minds want to know. I want to know what you're doing with all this soap. Like, you know what I mean? They'll buy like 4 bars of soap. And then like in a month or 2, they buy like another 4 bars. This soap lasts me forever. Like I'll have the same bar of soap in the shower for like 3 months. Like and there's several of us using it. It's like, how are you guys going through that much soap? You have to be giving it away.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes sense to me, how y'all are stocking up on so much soap. All right, we're going to sign off. Shop.resistancechicks.com. Go there for all of your personal care needs. That's the best way I can say it. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. If you would like an interesting watch, I did get in my bees for 42 minutes and took you guys with me. And I uploaded that late last night. So please go and check that out. You can just join Michelle getting in the beehives.
You did that class with the kids and you did such a good job.
I wish we had streamed it. We didn't stream the class. I didn't want to put anybody's strangers on camera. It was a really good class. So raise your hand if you guys would like me to, you know how we host pig butchering and chicken butchering? If you guys would like to, I would need about 10 people to make it worth it to do like an event type beekeeping class here. I would be happy to do that, but there would have to be enough interest. So you would have to send me an email and say, yes, I would be willing to come to Ohio for a, 4 or 5 hour bee workshop. I would be willing to do that. I would just need to know if there's enough interest in enough people coming. So shoot me an email if you guys would like me to do that. Otherwise, you're like, oh, Michelle, you could just live stream it. So yes, I could live stream it, but what I found yesterday made the class better was the questions that the kids asked. Amazing questions. So having people to interact would be better to do it that way. So, all right, we love you. I think we said that. We will see you on Sunday for our World News program, probably at 1:30. May or may not be outside given the tech issues, but we'll try. Okay, good night, guys. God bless. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.